On for suspects who killed 4 in a Birmingham shooting over the weekend. Birmingham, Alabama Police Chief Scott Thurman.
We believe that there was a hit, if you will, on that particular person, as far as, someone was willing to pay money to have that person killed.
Thurman says investigators believe the other victims were caught in the crossfire. Authorities are asking the public for tips to find the suspected shooter or shooters. Birmingham police were called out Saturday night to the 5 Points area. One person is dead following the midair collision of 2 small planes in California Sunday. Planes collided around 1 p.m., according to the L.A. County Fire Department. Former Chicago Alderman Ed Burke reporting to federal prison today by 2 p.m. Burke is beginning a 2-year sentence, likely at a minimum security facility in Terre Haute, Indiana. Mayor Brandon Johnson looking for alternatives to the gunshot detection system ShotSpotter. The mayor announcing that a request for information has been issued to gather recommendations on reliable and efficient forms of first responder technology. Pastor Donovan Price says that will make many communities in the city even more unsafe.
Request for information is even a slower process. And it seems like the mayor has very strong opinions with ShotSpotter. It seems like, knowing that there was a problem with this walkie-talkie on the stick, he would have started that process a long time ago.
A 17-year-old boy is charged as an adult in the shooting and killing of his mother in Chicago. Davion Pryor was ordered detained and will remain behind bars. The mother, Tananisha Jackson, was shot last Thursday. Pryor will be charged so far as an adult. Bears turned the ball over 3 times in a 21-16 loss to the Colts at Lucas Oil Stadium. 1-2 Bears host the Rams in Week 4. College football, number 19 Illinois remains undefeated following an overtime win at Nebraska. The 4-0 Illini are at number 9 Penn State this Saturday. Shota Imanaga tossed a gem. Cubs beat the Nationals 5-0 at Wrigley. 6 hits, 7 scoreless, win number 15. And no team in modern MLB history has lost more games than the 2024 White Sox. They suffered their 120th loss in a 4-2 defeat at the hands of the Padres. The news, a service of Turnkey.pro. For less than the price of a monthly car payment, Turnkey will fully protect your network. Up-to-date cyber protection, unlimited backup, unlimited 24/7 help desk, and real-time threat hunting. Protect your small business today. Turnkey.pro. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Make sure that you never miss a day of Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson when you subscribe to the Chicago's Morning Answer podcast, presented by Signature Bank. Listen to the entire show each day on demand with limited commercial breaks. You can subscribe today for free at 560theanswer.com and click on podcasts or search for Chicago's Morning Answer on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
This is Carol Platt-Liebau for townhall.com. Attorney General Merrick Garland has just made a speech denouncing alleged efforts to turn his handling of the Justice Department into a political weapon. Garland doesn't have a leg to stand on. I guess we're safe to presume he wasn't referencing Kamala Harris's attacks on Robert Hur, when Hur didn't prosecute Joe Biden's mishandling of classified documents because of the president's mental decline. In truth, his Justice Department is the first to prosecute the president's political opponents. His DOJ brought a classified documents case against Donald Trump while letting Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden off the hook. He's refused to prosecute violent pro-Hamas and BLM rioters, but threw the book at peaceful abortion clinic and J6 protesters. And his FBI has gone after parents who simply protested at school board meetings. Garland's DOJ is the most political in history, and everybody knows it.
What a waste of time, money, and vacation days. Hi, Amy Jacobson here. And if you've had a bad knee or hip replacement surgery, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because sometimes the surgery doesn't even work. But there is an alternative, QC Kinetics. Check it out before you go under the knife. QC Kinetics uses your own body's properties to repair damaged joint tissue due to arthritis or an injury. Folks, it's regenerative medicine. Think about it. If you cut your hand, it eventually heals. But don't take my word for it. Find out for yourself with a free consultation. And what's really cool is the fact that Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, the National Medical Director and former orthopedic surgeon, is located right here in the Chicago area. Call now to end your chronic pain and learn more about QC Kinetics. They have new locations in Gurnee and Crystal Lake. Saturday appointments available. The number to call is 312-809-5955. That's 312-809-5955. 312-809-5955.
Quick delivery service. What do you need delivered today?
Hi, I'm trying to work through a last-minute to-do list for my boss. Can you deliver a hard drive to the Loop in Chicago?
We can deliver that today.
Okay, can you deliver 20 boxes to a client in Rockford?
We can deliver that today.
Can you deliver 12 pallets of tile to our customer in Naperville?
We can deliver that today.
Can you deliver a large envelope to Northbrook?
We can deliver that today.
Oh my gosh, I think my water just broke. Can you...
We cannot deliver that.
Quick Delivery Service delivers your package no matter the size. More than just a messenger service, Quick Delivery Service is a messenger and trucking service that can also provide scheduled routes for your daily delivery or your air shipment. Trucks are equipped to handle the load and provide ground-level service for same-day delivery. The Quick Delivery Service team of safe, licensed professionals can provide quick door-to-door service for your special delivery. QuickDelivery.com. That's QuickDelivery.com. We deliver that today. But we don't deliver this.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
5:38, Team Hochberg Traffic Center time, a service of AlmostFreeTeeth.com. We will start in Bartlett, Kane County. Route 25, north and southbound, between Southwind and Bartlett Road, entirely shut down. Serious accident and investigation is underway. That's in Bartlett this morning, Kane County. Route 25 shut down north and southbound between Southwind and Bartlett Road. Clearing an accident, Bishop Ford right now outbound just north of 159th. Overpaying for dental implants is over. If you have a Blue Cross Blue Shield, PPO, or FEP, you could save 90% off on average to get that smile back. Learn more and check if you qualify. AlmostFreeTeeth.com. 5:39. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. Cloudy in your forecast, high near 70. Your next news update is at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning. Is this thing on? Hello, hello. Good morning. There we go. Phew. The mic didn't work. Guess what I'm doing? I'm leaving. Because I'm not going to sign for 4 hours. Amy Jacobson here, John Anthony.
Hey, what's happening?
For Dan Proft. And Dan is across the pond right now.
Uh-huh.
And there's pretty big news coming out of Ireland. Ireland woke up yesterday to news that the government has dropped plans to implement hate speech laws.
Uh-oh.
This is the second time they've defeated the bill in 5 years. And people behind it, Michael, excuse me, Michael Schellenberger, Elon Musk, they all tried to help get this defeated, and it is.
It sounds like a Black Mirror episode. The police can enter your home unannounced, search your phone and computers, and arrest you for the things that you're reading, watching, or posting online. If you refuse, you could be sentenced to 12 months in prison. But it's not a Black Mirror episode. It's worse than that. It's real life. At this very moment, the government of Ireland is trying to pass a law before Christmas that will let the police go into people's homes and confiscate their phones and computers. Now, you might think Ireland doesn't matter, that it could disappear tomorrow without much impact. But Ireland does matter. It's the test case for the next phase of the global crackdown by military and intelligence forces and their agents that's been happening over the last 7 years. What they used to call a conspiracy theory has now been confirmed as true.
And here's Elon Musk.
The thing we should be concerned about is if the Irish Parliament passes a bill that defines hate speech as whatever they think hate speech is, people should be extremely concerned about that. You're just at the mercy of the ruling party and whatever bureaucrats they put in place, and they can just define something that really is not hate speech as hate speech just because they don't like it.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. You can also text us on the same line, because whether you like it or not, hate speech patrolling is already happening.
Yes, it is.
Listen to Tulsi Gabbard, right? This is a great example. This is what TikTok banned. All right? As that it was harmful. It was hate speech. This is, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Have you heard about this latest video that TikTok banned because they found it to be too controversial, too filled with hate, and too offensive? Well, if you haven't seen it yet, here it is. Brace yourself.
If you think girls and women's equality matter, stand up.
Wow.
If girls and women's sports matter, and you want your daughters to have the same opportunity you had, stand up. If you know that it isn't fair or safe to allow males to compete in girls' sports, because it's, well, obvious, stand up. Don't be cowed by people who call you a bigot. You're not a bigot. Don't let men tell us how to be good girls. Don't let others tell you you just need to be quiet. Sit down. Be nice. It's not nice to further a lie. It's not mean to believe in women's equality. We deserve our own sports, privacy, fairness, safety. We deserve a chance to compete and win. So don't be nice. Don't be careful. Be honest. Be brave. Fight for women. We've come too far to give up now. And if you agree with that, stand up and stand with us.
What's
Crazy, right? Not what you expected. It's a sign of this insane time that we are living in, where something that is undeniably and objectively true, the biological differences between men and women and boys and girls actually exist. There is such a thing as a woman and a girl that is distinct and different from a man or a boy, is deemed ban-worthy by TikTok. We have to keep our eyes open to what is going on and continue to lift our voices and not allow them to ban us from seeing this truth and from sharing this truth. There have been a couple of court rulings that have begun to undo the Biden administration's destruction of Title IX. We have to keep building the momentum, keep sharing the truth, speaking the truth, and supporting those who do.
Wow.
312-642-5600. That was offensive. I mean, that
What's hateful about
was
it?
too hateful and offensive for TikTok, because there's a few transgender men out there trying to join women's teams.
Right. So they can have their point of view, but the other flip side can't.
No.
Okay, that makes
Never.
sense.
And if Tim Walz and Kamala Harris get in office, I mean, don't forget what Tim Walz said.
Oh, yeah.
This was 16 days ago, and he still has not answered a question like, what do you mean by this?
I think we need to push back on this. There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
Is he an attorney?
Pardon?
Is he a lawyer?
No, he
Okay.
is a school teacher. Oh, and don't you know he's a coach? But he was never hired as a coach because he had a DUI.
Yeah.
And so he was the assistant coach.
Yeah.
And I thought he was an offensive defensive line coach. But, yeah.
But who are the biggest purveyors of misinformation, disinformation? It doesn't come from the right. It's the left. Just like and they use smears and all these things, different things to do so. So tell me, Tim Walz, people should be jailed, basically?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They were good. They were going to do what they did in Ireland, but thank God they voted it down for the second time in 5 years. Oh, don't forget Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
She wants you misinformation people taken care of.
Right. There are Americans who are engaged in this kind of propaganda, and whether they should be civilly or even in some cases criminally charged is something that would be a better deterrence, because the Russians are unlikely except in a very few cases, to ever stand trial in the United States.
Wow. This listen, they're out of the shadows now, Amy. Oh yeah. They simply don't care anymore. They've come out of the shadows and they're just bold.
If Harrison Waltz get into office, I think that TikTok will be gone. Yeah. I think that they will be monitoring your Twitter or your X account.
You know they're on
Facebook.
it, though, right?
Pardon?
They're on TikTok.
Exactly.
You want to get rid
and
of
they're
something.
using it. They're want to get rid of something that they use, especially for campaigning purposes. 312-642-5600. Let's go.
Just real quick.
Oh, yeah.
The reason why they want to get rid of TikTok and Telegram is because the government apparatus doesn't have access to a back door to these.
Not because it's Chinese owned.
You got to listen to Rand Paul and how he eviscerated them as it related to that TikTok bill, basically to get rid of TikTok.
Okay. Bob in Buffalo Grove, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Hi, Bob.
How you doing, Amy? And good to hear you, John. Sorry I missed your cruise.
That's fine.
Have you heard the term silicon curtain?
Oh.
No.
Do tell.
So 2 weeks ago, I attended the Heartland banquet, their annual banquet, and Jay Bhattacharya spoke about the silicon curtain descending on the world. That is the curtain that is causing censorship in the protection of speech throughout the world. And he pointed out a few examples, how it affected him with regards to his speech on COVID. And also he pointed out and warned people, be careful when you go to Europe. I can't remember which countries it is, but if you offer hate speech and misinformation, you are subject to breaking their laws and could be arrested.
Wow.
Yep, that's true. All right, thanks. And Bob, congratulations to you. You won an award.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. That was a big award.
Engineering award at IIT, right?
Well, for my lifetime professional achievements in engineering.
Good for you.
Wow. Congrats.
The world needs more engineers. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bob, and
Engineers
congratulations.
make the world go round.
You're darn right. Make sure those bridges don't collapse.
It's true.
No, when they do, they all look at the engineers. What did you do?
What did you do wrong?
What did you do wrong? All right. Also, too, did you see this? The IRS. Did you know the IRS has a union?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yes.
I should have known that.
Yes.
I know USPS, United States Postal Service, has a union. Guess who they're backing?
Oh, let me guess.
Take a guess.
Trump.
Right. Well, the IRS is union is allowed to make presidential endorsements and campaign contribution. Is similar to a pack of wolves having the ability to choose their neighboring shepherd and sheepdog. I mean, something has seriously gone wrong in America.
Yeah.
So they're backing Kamala Harris.
Of course. No, I thought it was Trump.
You thought it was Trump. I mean, does the DOJ have a union? What about the Supreme Court? Are they unionized yet?
No, not yet.
No.
It's probably coming now. You're giving people ideas, Amy.
I know. That's what scares everybody.
Yeah.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I love the product because I'm already here at almost 80 knocking on my door. When I started taking Balance of Nature, I'm telling you, it wasn't a month after that, maybe 2 months after that, I started really feeling the difference.
I love Balance of Nature. I will take it to the day I die. It's wonderful. I feel so much better. I'm telling everybody about it, and I just feel better. I mean, it's just amazing how much better I feel on this stuff. I got excited about the product because I started feeling better. They asked me, does it work? I said, yes, it works. You got to try it. It will work.
Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com and get this special offer by using discount code Chicago.
I'm worried about Mom. She's having a tough time moving around the house.
Oh, I know. She still thinks she can do everything on her own.
Exactly, but I've been over there every day this week, helping her navigate the stairs, cooking meals, reminding her to take her medicine. I'm always nervous when I leave.
You know what? I admire you for taking care of Mom. but your family needs you to? And what if she slips and falls? A friend recommended the caregivers at Senior Helpers of Naperville Southwest. They service Cook, DuPage, Kane, and Will counties. They guarantee compatibility and they'll conduct a free safety assessment of her home. Plus, they'll provide as little or as much care as Mom needs.
Senior Helpers of Naperville Southwest, offering both hourly and live-in care. Schedule a free assessment today by calling 331-281-0728. That's 331-281-0728. Again, that's 331-281-0728. And tell them AM 560 sent you. Senior Helpers of Naperville Southwest. Senior care, only better.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. Your business and your money are in good hands with Signature Bank. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Jason Zenger, owner of Zenger's Industrial Supply and host of the Making Chips podcast, and a proud customer of Signature Bank. Through rapid growth, acquisitions of competitors, and taking over from the previous generation, Signature Bank was there with us every step of the way. Recently, the team introduced us to FinRails AP, their proprietary system for accounts payable automation. Not only did FinRails AP help us to reduce costs and create efficiencies, but it also helped minimize fraud risk. Now, our company can invest time into what we do best, supplying industrial products, metalworking tooling, contractor tools, and safety supplies to those who make, build, and create great things for our country.
Signature Bank helps local businesses succeed. Let Signature Bank turn your business vision into reality. Visit signaturebank.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, 312-642-5600. We got to get our text line back up and running. Is your computer working over there?
Nope.
What is it?
Well, I can see it over here, though.
Yeah, but I don't. We'll make a phone call at the top of the hour.
All right.
'Cause
Josh, he's probably tired.
Oh, yeah, Josh ran the boat cruise for you because you did your live program there.
Yeah.
Greg in Schaumburg, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Good morning.
Morning, Amy and John.
Hey, good morning.
You talked about the Ireland story, and then you just had kind of like an open sentence if Walz and Harris get elected. Without question, Amy, one of the prime targets, in my estimation, will be Salem, and will be that whole corporation, because you think of any corporation in this country that is tackling them in terms of their lives or standing in any way for Christian morality, and it is Salem. There is no one else out there. So I predict you will be one of the top targets. And the other thing, too, is that when you talk about walking into your house and looking at what you're reading, they don't have to walk into your house. They can tap your computer, just get your IP address and see exactly what's going on, which is very reminiscent of what is predicted to be the case when you get the electronic money exchange, which is predicted to be the case when the whole bond structure collapses and the dollar goes down, which I know Dan is over in Ireland right now, saying, oh, Greg's full of beans on that, but I don't believe so.
Yeah, you two argue about that a lot. All right. Yeah, I mean, but you're right. They don't have to go into your house.
No.
They can
Cheryl
just see.
Atkinson, remember?
Oh, yeah. What?
Remember what she told us about the FBI said about her and her husband? How easily they can just put child porn on his computer.
Oh, that's
remember that?
right.
Yeah. So
if they want to get you, they'll get you.
They'll get you.
Yeah, they can place anything. But the other thing, too, it's just one last point, is that you look at, in my perception, how much less there is political commentary this presidential election on social media. And I was trying to figure out why that might be the case. And one possible theory for that is the fact that people are scared to put things up. That if in fact Trump were to lose, they know that they would be listed, they would be gone after, just like Lerner went after through the IRS people, that they'd be on the list. And that's the way our country is becoming. So it's very critical that this election, return Trump to the White House. Thanks.
Yeah. I mean, election night, I don't think I'm going to be in the city. Really? I think it's too dangerous.
Really?
Oh, you can't even put up a Trump sign.
Yeah.
And I put there's one corner where there's a sign. Nobody owns that corner. It's the city's corner, and there's a Harris sign. Well, it used to be Biden Harris, and they're like, that's so 2 months ago, and now Harris for president. Now somebody put Harris Walz because we've had 3 iterations of who's running against who. I just want to put a Trump sign up there and just see how long it lasts.
Do it. If how are they able to put that on city property. Oh, it's Chicago.
Honey,
Yeah.
please.
Okay, all right. I got you.
And I'll never forget when Paul Vallis was running, all those Vallis signs were taken down
Streets and Sand.
and thrown in the garbage. Like you said, my last tweet before my Twitter account got hacked and I lost my 40,000 followers was a huge Vallis sign that was right behind all the recycling bins.
Wow.
Behind my house that somebody took.
Yeah, I had mine taken. My big 4x8 signs.
Of what?
Of when I ran for office. I guess they were not in the right of way. They were literally on somebody's land. And let's just say a certain people that work in the road townships type
Well, I
stuff.
love when we talk in code.
Yeah.
So the people that work where?
the townships, the road highway commissioner people. Yeah, they might have had them removed. Yeah. All up and down certain roads. Yeah.
That's
what they do.
Well, I'll tell you, and part of what Craig was saying, that they don't need to come into your house to see what you're doing.
No.
I retweeted something, and an alderman, I'll say his name, Alderman Vasquez, filed a Title IX complaint against me.
What was the tweet?
And tried to get me fired from Amundsen. This is getting old. A tweet was a retweet. I didn't like the tweet. I didn't author the tweet. It was a retweet of a former Navy SEAL, 6'5" guy who transitioned to being a woman, slamming a ball down. He played for a European league.
Right.
I didn't comment on it. I just retweeted the conversation because we were going to talk about it the next day.
Right. But what was the problem? I don't see the problem.
It's
you know what I mean?
Because there isn't a problem.
Okay.
There's no infraction.
Okay.
And I was cleared, but it's just like the pattern of harassment where if they don't like who you are as a human being, they don't like the policies you stand behind, they will get you.
That's true.
One way or another.
That's true.
Trust me, they will.
You know.
Oh, yes, I do. All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, we have a great show. Guess who's coming in later?
Ooh.
Jessica Hackett's going to be here.
What?
Yeah.
I haven't seen her in a while.
Because I don't know if you heard about New York's version of Dr. Allison Arwardi.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a little bit of a sex problem. He had some orgies, some drug-fueled orgies, and was caught.
With P. Diddy?
This is the man. No, he wasn't with P. Diddy. Yeah, I wonder if they were friends. But this was the man who made the vaccines, mandated the vaccines. Mayor de Blasio worked with him.
Wow.
And he was our version of Dr. Arwardi, and he is in a lot of trouble. Wait till you hear it, because he admitted it. It's all, he was secretly recorded and talked all about it.
Wow.
So he had fun during COVID while they destroyed our lives. So she'll be here.
Most of them did.
But coming up next, should he or shouldn't he? Should Trump take the bait and do a second debate with Kamala? We'll start there. But now let's head into the newsroom and say good morning once again to Mike Scott.
Ed Burke reporting to federal prison today. Mayor Johnson looking for shot spotter alternatives. 1 killed and 6 wounded in a Southwest Side shooting. Bears fall to the Colts, and the Cubs blank the Nationals. WIND Chicago News Time, 6.
It's her biggest fundraiser since replacing President Biden in the campaign. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. $27 million for Vice President Harris at an event in New York City, telling reporters at Joint Base Andrews.
It's showing that there's a lot of support for our message and what we need to do in terms of moving forward.
Fox's Madeline Rivera reports Harris is ahead in a new NBC poll.
Leading former President Trump 49% to 44% among registered voters. Trump was ahead by 2 points in July before President Biden left the race. But a New York Times Siena College poll this morning shows former President Trump leading in Arizona, Georgia, and North Carolina, showing this is still anyone's game.
Polls also keep showing more voters prefer Trump policies on immigration after a record surge of migrants coming here illegally. The former president vows a mass deportation if elected, telling Fox's Bill Malugin he'll send them back to their countries, including a U.S. adversary.
Venezuela will take them back, and they'll be saying thank you, because if they don't take them back, we're going to force them right down their throat.
The former president will campaign today in Pennsylvania, another toss-up state. Vice President Harris will go there on Wednesday. Israel and Hezbollah keep battling.
In southern Lebanon now for a 4th straight day, and just minutes ago, the IDF shared that so far today they have hit 300 Hezbollah terrorist sites.
As Hezbollah militants militants fire rockets into Israel. Fox's Nate Foy also reports from Tel Aviv.
Israel is putting out messages in Arabic telling people to evacuate, particularly in southern Lebanon. An Israeli military official tells Fox today that Israel is focused on an aerial campaign only.
The manhunt continues in Birmingham, Alabama, for multiple gunmen who killed 4 people Saturday night in a shooting that also left more than a dozen others injured, prompting Mayor Randall Woodfin to push for stricter gun laws.
We should not allow people to just ride around with any style type of weapon that doesn't even belong on domestic streets.
America's listening to Fox News.
.63 degrees in Chicago. 6:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Former Chicago Alderman Ed Burke reporting to federal prison today by 2 p.m. Burke is beginning a 2-year sentence, likely at a minimum security facility in Terre Haute, Indiana. Mayor Brandon Johnson looking for alternatives to the gunshot detection system ShotSpotter being dismantled over the weekend and today. Mayor announced that a request for information has been issued to gather recommendations on what he wants, reliable, efficient forms of first responder technology. However, Pastor Donovan Price says that will make many communities in the city even more dangerous.
Request for information is even a slower process. It seems like the mayor has very strong opinions with ShotSpotter. It seems like, knowing that there was a problem with this walkie-talkie on a stick, he would have started that process a long time ago.
Chicago Police Department stopped using ShotSpotter after the city's contract with its parent company expired. No one is in custody following a shooting that left 1 man dead and 6 others wounded on Chicago's southwest side Saturday night. A 17-year-old boy is charged as an adult in the shooting and killing of his mother in Chicago. Davion Pryor was ordered held and will stay behind bars. Illinois Secretary of State facilities are shifting their hours throughout the state today. Secretary of State Alexei Giannoulias announcing the facility operating hours will align, he says, with higher customer demand in the morning. Secretary of State locations will now be open to customers Monday through Friday beginning at 7:30 a.m. Chicago sports. Yesterday, the Chicago Bears turned the ball over 3 times in a 21-16 loss to the Indianapolis Colts. Caleb Williams found Rome Odunze for his first career touchdown pass. Williams did pass for 2 scores and 336 yards, but 2 INTs. College football, number 19 Illinois remains undefeated over the weekend following a 31-24 overtime win at Nebraska. 4-0 Illini are at number 9 Penn State this Saturday. Shota Imanaga tossed a gem as the Cubs beat the Nationals 5-0, and the White Sox lost to the Padres 4-2. The news, a service of AlmostFreeTeeth.com. Overpaying for dental implants is now over. What if you could save an average of 90% for dental implants and get 100% of your smile back? With a free Blue Cross Blue Shield PPO or FEP, it's possible. Check if you qualify at AlmostFreeTeeth.com. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
November 2nd, 2020, marked the 100th anniversary of the first commercial radio broadcast. We're still here, and we're bigger and better than ever. You can still listen to us over this great radio station, but now there are no limitations. Your smartphone is now your smart radio. Listen to us online on the app, TuneIn.com, iHeartRadio, and Odyssey.com. Your smart speaker can find us too. With radio, there is no separation anxiety. We're always on. AM 560, The Answer.
NYPD officer Jonathan Diller's tragic story made national headlines this year. Now, Jonathan was shot and killed by a career criminal during a traffic stop. Jonathan, who's just 31 years old, leaves behind his wife Stephanie and 1-year-old son Ryan. Now, nothing will ever replace the loss of a husband and a father, but the Tunnel to Towers Foundation was able to pay off the mortgage on the Diller family's home. Please commit to $11 a month. Go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org for the Tunnel to Towers Foundation.
Small business owners, we know finishing your to-do list can feel like rowing upstream, but it's a river, a whitewater river, and the only paddles you have are pool noodles. Then when a new to-do pops up, you're like, nope, I'm already rowing upstream with these pool noodle paddles. At Progressive, we don't want to make your day any harder. That's why we make it easy to get personalized discounts with a commercial auto insurance quote online, so your to-do list is smooth sailing. See if you can save on commercial auto insurance in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverages and discounts not available in all states and subject to policy terms and underwriting.
There's a lot going on in today's America, and it can get hard to turn your mind off at night. That's why conservatives have been turning to Beam's Dream. Dream has improved 15 million nights of sleep, and it can improve yours too. Their Dream formula helps you put your day to bed. Just one scoop helps you unlock a full 8 hours of sleep. It might just be the easiest thing you do all day and night. Beam's Dream Formula is the key to falling asleep faster and staying asleep longer. Thanks to its proprietary ingredient stack, mornings feel refreshing, not like a groggy wake-up call. This is a simple, zero-effort addition to any nightly ritual. Simply mix Dream into hot water or milk, then froth and enjoy. Try Beam's best-selling Dream Powder for yourself and enjoy this limited-time offer of up to 35% off when you go to shopbeam.com/America and use the code AMERICA at checkout. That's shopbeam.com/America and use the code America for up to 35% off.
6:08, Team Hochberg, traffic center time. Let's get an update on the roads, the service of Balance of Nature. Splash into savings with 50% off your first preferred order with promo code Chicago. Order online at balanceofnature.com. Coupon code Chicago. Hurry, the offer ends soon. Bartlett, Kane County, Route 25, north and southbound, shut down right at Bartlett Road with a serious accident and investigation there. I-80 this morning, Will County, jammed westbound between Briggs and Richard. DuSable Lakeshore Drive southbound through that roadwork zone begins to jam up right at Irving Park. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with Steve Williams.
Rather cloudy for us today with a high 70. Clouds and a couple of brief showers tonight, low 60. And then clouds and showers tomorrow, the high 67. Pleasant, warmer, sun and clouds on Wednesday, the high at 77. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
63 at O'Hare. Next news, 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good Monday morning. Should he or shouldn't he? Kamala Harris confirming with CNN, taunting President Trump, former President Trump, to take the bait and to have another debate in October. Here's Her Highness.
Join me on the debate stage. Let's have another debate. There's more to talk about, and the voters of America deserve to hear the conversations that I think we should be having on substance, on issues, on policies. What's your plan? What's my plan?
And Trump responded quickly, to this offer.
The problem with another debate is that it's just too late. Voting has already started.
But according to ABC News, there's a new poll out that shows Harris nationally up 49% to Trump's 44%.
Yeah, okay.
Pardon?
I doubt that.
You
I'm
doubt?
serious.
Is
Yeah.
this fake news,
Yeah.
John Anthony?
You said who?
NBC
Yeah,
poll.
okay. NBC Yeehaw was Larry Hale.
But the thing is, Trump, he has done two debates. He debated Biden, remember?
Yeah.
In June. And then he debated Harris and two ABC moderators at the same time.
True.
So what's unprecedented, because Kamala said that it's unprecedented to have one debate.
Right. I think he should
But
do
these
it.
are different times.
Yeah. I want him to do it.
You want him to
I
do
do.
it. Why?
And I think because I think on style she beat him last time. On substance he destroyed her. Everybody that all people were looking at is the style. Didn't look at she provided no substance, but Trump actually did provide substance. And I think he needs to prepare a little bit better to come back after her. Like when all those lies she said, well, if they won't fact check him, Trump fact check her. I think he'll do better because Trump gets better as he debates, in my opinion.
Right. Remember the first debate against Biden?
Yeah. Yep.
The first debate against Biden was kind of lukewarm. And then the second one was great. And then they canceled the third one,
right?
Which was going to be a town hall, which is where he shines. When he was at WashU debating Hillary Clinton in that town hall setting. Remember the guy with the red sweater? And then he became a meme.
Yeah. He's from here, Illinois, right?
Yeah. Well, from Illinois, Southern. Yeah. But that was the greatest debate.
Yeah, it was. It was a really good debate.
Chris Christie says, he's going to do it. No, Chris, the big guy's back and not our big guy, but Joyce's big guy, Chris Christie.
Look, this is, these debate decisions, George, are tactical. They're not philosophical. They're tactical. And if the polls continue to move a bit away from Trump, you know how much he focuses on that, and he's going to need something to change it. And in today's media landscape, absent a big mistake by one or the other, this is the only thing.
But has his confidence been shaken after the first debate?
Come on. His confidence shaken? No. He will convince himself that if she gets in the ring with him again, that he'll knock her out. That'll be his mindset. Now, whether he'll do the work that's going to be necessary to be prepared, which he clearly did not do the last time, is a completely open question. But I'll say this. He needs it. I think she agreed to the CNN debate because she knows that will be the least agreeable venue for him. So she may be able to get herself out of this and not debate again by saying, no, CNN or nothing, and then he's going to have to make that judgment. I think he'll eventually capitulate.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. We have our text line up and running, too. You can text us at that same number.
What happened to the Fox News debate, though?
Well, that's the thing. He offered 3 debates, but he wanted one on Fox News.
I would agree.
Why would the home team can't have all the games.
Right.
You got to go to the visiting side once in a while. Yeah. Fox News is a visitors.
She wouldn't do that, though.
But she wouldn't do, that's the thing. He should tell her, yes, I'll take a second debate, but I need it to be on Fox News.
Yeah. Or provide a moderator of his choosing. Trump gets to choose one of the moderators.
Right. Yeah. And not have it all be, 3 on 1.
Right. Which also, remember that signed affidavit that is circulating saying that she actually was given questions. I mean, why isn't that bigger news? Did you see that?
There was a whistleblower from ABC News who has come forward saying that she was not only given the questions, she was guaranteed that they would fact check only Trump and not fact checked her.
How's that not big news?
So that wasn't a fair debate.
Right, it wasn't.
That was a hit job.
Right.
For 90 minutes of a hit job.
Yes.
All right, so here's the thing. So she said it's unprecedented to have one debate. But what's unprecedented is that after Trump crushed her boss, they then forced him out, installed her without a single primary vote cast for her at the top of the ticket. She's JV, Trump's varsity. It's time to end all of this nonsense, and she should do some real interviews. If Trump's wise, I don't think he should waste his time debating her, even though I wasn't, I like to have do-overs because he wasn't prepared. There were so many times he could have fought back with just quick facts.
Right. I don't think
he didn't do that. He didn't have the fight in him.
I don't think it wasn't that he wasn't prepared because I still to this day think he beat her on substance. But we live in a society where style is better than substance. That's why we have the elected officials we have all across the country. Style is so much better than policy, in which Trump was able to lay out policy facts. Name one policy she talked about at that debate.
And she keeps going on this stupid softball interview with Oprah she did on Thursday.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, listen to this. This couple just asked, hey, what's your plan for lowering costs? Listen to this word salad and just stupid sentences strung together.
We really would love to know what your plan is to help lower the cost of living.
Yeah. First of all, thank you both for being here. And yours is a story I hear around the country as I travel. And in terms of both rightly having the right to have aspirations and dreams and ambitions for your family and working hard and finding that the American dream is, for this generation and so many recently, far more elusive than it's been.
Wow. Let's just
I mean,
give me a second.
that was. Did she answer the question,
No,
John Anthony?
not at all.
And this is great. Trump was campaigning in North Carolina. Yeah. His take on her interview. Because remember, Oprah loves Trump. They used to get along beautifully.
Yeah.
I don't want to be rude. She's not competent to be president. Did you see her on Oprah? That's not going to be. That's not going to be president. Oprah didn't know what the hell to do. Oprah was like embarrassed. She wanted to hide under the table. But she's a professional, and she was able to sort of disguise it. No, she wanted to go right under the table. Vote Trump, and we will bring back the American dream bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. Kamala can't be trusted with your economy or anything else. She's just, I mean, how this happened. Explain it to me, please. How did this happen? And we all saw what happened, and we see what happened. Kamala was a total disaster yesterday and at every other interview. She's been just a free fall. I don't know what the hell's going on. She can't do an interview. She doesn't want to do them. Something's wrong.
312-642-5600. Let's go to Joe. Hold on, I can do this. Joe in East Dundee, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, John and Amy. She's calling him a chicken it, and it's like, no, she's the chicken it. He did 2 interviews with liberal media stations, and how about answering questions from Laura Ingraham or Tucker?
I mean, can you imagine? Yeah. She wouldn't have the onions to do that.
No, she'd back out.
No, well, so I guess there's not going to be another.
No, it's debate. I don't think it will.
I don't know. With Trump, though, you never know.
Yeah,
he always that could be the October.
No,
surprise.
he should not go on CNN again. No, because she's going to do her a pre-trial preparations and that kind of thing. And Trump's like, off the cuff. He shoots by the hip.
Well, what if he studied and actually did the homework? Like she stayed in a hotel room for 4 days in Pittsburgh and rehearsed, and then they had the 2 lecterns up and camera. They reinvented the studio situation that she was going to be under, and then demand for a live audience.
Yeah,
I would say yes if it's a town hall.
Yeah.
Where people can ask questions, and then she'll give that
I agree.
stupid answer for lowering costs.
Yeah.
And then Trump can say that's not a plan.
Yeah.
That was a comment you just made, and you've been making that.
If she can bring my property taxes down, I would vote for her.
Well, that's not going to happen, and you're not voting for her. Thank you so much. And just so you know, thanks, Joe, for the phone call. According to Fox News, Harris, Waltz combined have done 7 interviews.
Yeah, I saw that.
Combined. Oh, no, 8 now with the Oprah.
Yeah.
8 to Trump and Vance's 54.
Wow.
And Trump and Vance, they'll go on.
Yeah,
I mean, they
anywhere.
could go on CNN.
Yeah.
Vance goes on MSNBC.
Yes.
Vance he's a bulldog,
Yes,
man.
he is.
And he's smart. I like him. Didn't like him at first, but
I would
now I'm
prefer
all
a
over.
town hall debate, though.
Yeah, a town hall. Yep.
Yeah, I would prefer that over having the moderators dominate the debate.
Remember when Hillary was answering a question and Trump was walking behind her?
Yeah. Yeah, he got close to her. Yeah.
Oh, that was classic. But those 2 are friends. I mean, he was at Chelsea Clinton's wedding.
They were friends.
Yeah. But still.
Not anymore. Whoopi was, too.
Yeah. David and Winnetka, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning, Amy. Good morning, John. Love you guys. So I watch. They should be another debate, and Trump should just simply walk out and look at Kamala and say, "Kamala, spell president," and that's it. And just drop the mic and walk away. But I watched the debate at a lefty place in Rogers Park only because of girl that I'm trying to pursue is a leftist, and I'm pretending this whole time that I'm one of them, and I'm like, so I'm sitting there, and the whole place just absolutely erupted when Kamala had said former president. And that was their big talking point, the whole thing. And so I'm throwing in there, things about policy, just the way the life is now. I see guys, you can't deny that things just absolutely suck right now compared to they did what they what sucks. Oh, it's everything's better. Everything's better. And I'm like, so I guess my question is, if they do another debate, Dan always points out that I don't know too much about politics, which is true. I supplementally don't. However, I think we've got all the people that we're going to get. My point being, and I mean, people just don't listen. They don't care. As long as it's not Trump, they're for it.
Right.
And it's the part that's so scary.
It's not a vote for Harris. It's a vote against Trump. And David, I don't want to give you relationship advice, but I am. Is she really worth it? Because in the long run, I mean, is that going to last?
No, and in fact, I've been having so much fun with these people. We do open mic nights and music and this and that, and now they're starting to see the true me, and they're all turning their back. It's not me running from them; it's them running from me. I'm like, wait, I'm still the same guy. I'm still the same good guy that I have been. So do you see how you guys like you just don't accept, and you call us the non-tolerant? Like, come on,
yeah,
crazy.
I know.
Thank
John
you, guys.
Fetterman agrees with you, and we'll play that a little bit later. John Fetterman was on fire.
Yeah, he's been on fire. I mean, he falls back in line.
Senator Fetterman. I mean, he knows what's going on.
Yeah, he falls back in line at certain points, but he's been pushing back.
Ooh, and we'll play his audio. I mean, 2 times this weekend he hit it out of the park. Mike, which is a tease, so you have to keep listening to the show. Michael on the South Side, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Morning, John.
Hey.
I'm sorry. Morning, Amy. Morning, John.
Morning.
Thank you both for taking my call. And once again, it was a joy and pleasure to chat with both of you on Saturday at the cruise.
Yeah, Michael, you're so sweet. Thanks for coming up
Thanks,
and
brother.
introducing yourself and coming on the cruise.
Oh, thank you both. Here's the issue. Yes, another debate would give Donald Trump another chance to call out Kamala Harris, but he should still do a hard pass. You know, given the possibility of biased moderators and negative media spin, he should just say no. Don't even.
And the giving of questions, the potential to give the questions to it,
Oh,
that
that's
helps.
true. It's another opportunity if he doesn't control. But he hasn't had control over any of the details or rules or parameters of any of these debates.
Right, none.
And that's what, assert
Absolutely
yourself.
none. Yeah.
Advocate for yourself.
Yeah.
We got a text message, lots of text messages. Trump should only do a debate after Harris has an interview with someone on Fox, maybe Jesse Waters or Brett Baer.
No, I want to Greg Gutfield. Go on Gutfield.
Go on Gutfield.
He would eviscerate her.
Oh, God. Dave in Wakanda, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, Amy and John. Thanks for taking my call. So all this scuttlebutt about Kamala Harris not being the border czar, if she wasn't the czar, she was in charge of the root causes. Has anybody asked her? I have not really heard. Where is your report on the root causes?
No. I haven't heard it.
I haven't heard either.
I have not heard. It doesn't.
That's right.
Exist?
Nobody's asked her that question. Where's the report? What information have you found out?
There's a lot of
I think that's
questions.
a huge thing.
Well, all the interviews she does, they have the same questions.
Yeah.
You know,
And she
about
has the same
lowering costs for
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
She has the same answer.
Yeah.
Border security, same answer. Non-answers.
I was born in the middle class.
Yeah, her answer is middle class, and middle class people like well-manicured lawns.
Yeah.
Don't forget, it's all about the lawns. Rich in Indian Head Park, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, good morning, Amy. Good morning, John.
Money.
I think that he should definitely do another debate and stick to 2 points, the border and the economy.
Yep.
The border, he should ask her if she holds any responsibility for all of the citizens that were murdered by illegals that were let into this country. And on the economy, ask her again, are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? And make sure that she answers that question. And I think if he does that and just sticks to those 2 points, I think she's going to crumble.
I like that.
All right, that's good.
You guys have a good day.
Well, thoughtful answer. A text message. Leave that leftist girl now. Run! Exclamation point, exclamation point.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
What a waste of time, money, and vacation days. Hi, Amy Jacobson here. And if you've had a bad knee or hip replacement surgery, you know exactly what I'm talking about because sometimes the surgery doesn't even work. But there is an alternative, QC Kinetics. Check it out before you go under the knife. QC Kinetics uses your own body's properties to repair damaged joint tissue due to arthritis or an injury. Folks, it's regenerative medicine. Think about it. If you cut your hand, it eventually heals. But don't take my word for it. Find out for yourself with a free consultation. And what's really cool is the fact that Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, the National Medical Director and former orthopedic surgeon, is located right here in the Chicago area. Call now to end your chronic pain and learn more about QC Kinetics. They have new locations in Gurnee and Crystal Lake. Saturday appointments available. The number to call is 312-809-5955. That's 312-809-5955. 312-809-5955. All right, if you purchase a new home or refinance your existing home, you need to call Team Hochberg. After more than 2 excruciating years, mortgage interest rates are finally dropping. That's right. Mortgage interest rates are finally decreasing. And while 60% of Team Hochberg's competition are out of business, Team Hochberg's ready to help you, your friends, family, coworkers, and neighbors reduce your rate and monthly payments. David would like to share 2 important facts. Number 1, you don't have to refinance with your current lender. Number 2, Team Hochberg's closing costs and interest rates are almost always lower than your current lender and online lenders like Rocket Mortgage. If you purchase a new home or refinance your existing home within the past 2 years and your rate starts with a 7 or an 8, call Team Hochberg now. Not when you get home, not tomorrow, not next week. Call now for a complimentary mortgage analysis. The number to call now, 855-563-2843. That's 855-563-2843, or visit the website 56david.com. Tune into Home Sweet Chicago, hosted by David, Saturdays after House Smarts at 10 a.m. Again, that's 10 a.m. Again, the number to call, 855-563-2843 or 56david.com. Lower.com, equal housing lender, NMLS 1124061.
Hi, this is Rhett Rasmussen of BestHotGrill.com. Football is back, and so is tailgating. Whether it's Friday Night Lights, Saturday College, or Pro Sundays, Solaire portable infrared grills set up fast and heat up quickly. Only 3 minutes to searing hot temperatures, just like the big backyard Solaires. The Solaire grills will make you the master of the tailgater with the juiciest, most flavorful food in the parking lot. The fast grilling times leave you more time to talk up your team, and they cool down fast so you won't miss a minute of the game. The Solaire Anywhere and Solaire Everywhere portable infrared grills are perfect for any grilling on the go, from picnics to camping, RVs to boating, but especially tailgating. And they're made in the USA with the confidence of a 100-year-old family business. Amaze your tailgating friends with Solaire infrared grills. Learn more about these fantastic grills at besthotgrill.com. That's besthotgrill.com, besthotgrill.com.
All right, this fall season, don't forget your balance of nature. How's your balance of nature going?
I don't have any.
Well, you have
except
this,
the blue can.
The blue can?
Yeah.
I think that has a name.
Fruits. What is it called?
Oh, boy.
I don't remember.
The spice. Apple
Yeah, fruit and spice.
Yes.
Fruit and spice.
Fruit and fiber.
Fiber. I thought it was
Oh,
spice.
my gosh. Can we start this live read over?
Let's
No.
do it over.
But our good friends at Balance of Nature, they've been supporters of this radio station for 10 years, John Anthony. And turkey, pumpkin pie, ice cream aren't going to cut it this fall. Your body needs fruits and vegetables to stay healthy, happy, and energized. That's why I've been supplementing with Balance of Nature for nearly a decade as well. It's so easy. Open up the individual capsules, dust them over a salad or mix them into juice drinks or warm water. That's how I do it. And it makes me feel great. Thousands of AM 560 listeners love their Balance of Nature, and you will too. 6 capsules a day provides your body, your heart, and mind with over 10 servings of 31 different whole fruits and vegetables. You'll love it. Your body, mind, and heart will thank you for it. So order your fruits and vegetables today by calling 800-246-8751. Use the coupon code Chicago to save 35% off your first set and free shipping when you sign up as a new preferred customer. Again, that number is 800-246-8751. Call now or order online at balanceofnature.com, and be sure to use the coupon code Chicago to save 35%.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, you're not going to believe this story. what happened outside of Riot Fest.
Ooh.
Venezuelans, what they're doing to citizens, we'll explain. But now let's head into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
62 degrees at 6:31 on AM 560. The Answer. Israel and Hezbollah terror group members in Lebanon exchanging airstrikes, raising concerns about a wider conflict there. Fox's Ashley Strohmeyer is watching the very latest.
The Israeli military announcing it's conducting extensive strikes. Hezbollah and its post. The IDF saying it learned Hezbollah was planning to fire on Israel. The tit for tat across Lebanon's border is raising fears of an all-out war. Early Sunday, Hezbollah reportedly fired more than 100 rockets into northern Israel. Israel has since responded. Meantime, the U.S. is urging Americans staying in Lebanon to leave.
Israel warning residents in southern Lebanon at this hour to leave their homes to avoid getting caught up in a wider war. Both major party nominees for president picking up brand new endorsements, including a very unlikely one for former President Donald Trump. Our reporter Madeline Rivera is in Washington, D.C.
Harris has a new endorsement from the National Treasury Employees Union. The organization represents employees from different federal departments and agencies, including the IRS. Meantime, former President Trump is heading to Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Michigan this week. He's also got a new endorsement from Amir Ghalib, the mayor of Hamtramck, Michigan. Ghalib is a Democrat and represents one of the biggest Muslim communities in Wayne County. His endorsement comes days after Trump met with him as Republicans try to court Arab American voters disillusioned by the Biden administration's leadership on the Israel-Hamas war.
Several major Arab American and Arab Muslim groups are declining to endorse the Harris-Walz ticket. Authorities in Birmingham, Alabama, believe Saturday night's mass shooting was a paid, targeted hit. Police Chief Scott Thurman says he believes the targeted individual was among the four who were killed. Dejan Singleton witnessed the aftermath.
Very scary. Very. Like, when I walked up when it was, like, just ended, because everybody was screaming, there was people crying.
18 others were injured. Beetlejuice topped the weekend box office for the third straight week, bringing in $26 million, pushing its total take to well over $200 million. Transformers 1 right behind. Former Chicago Alderman Ed Burke reporting to federal prison today by about 2 p.m. Burke beginning a 2-year sentence at a minimum security facility, likely in Terre Haute, Indiana. Mayor Brandon Johnson looking for alternatives to the gunshot detection system ShotSpotter. Chicago police stopped using ShotSpotter today after the city's contract with its parent company expired. Alderman Jason Irvin wants better tech used in a better way.
You have, to me, I think, a misuse of the tool. I think the tool should be used more from an intelligence perspective and gathering information and being more predictive about where to put people.
An elderly woman is dead after crashing into a semi at a rest stop along the Indiana Toll Road in northwest Indiana. The crash occurred early Sunday morning in the parking lot of the westbound rest area near the LaPorte exit. Coroner's office identified the driver as 73-year-old Marcy Rodriguez of Grays Lake. Bears turned the ball over 3 times in a 21-16 loss to the Colts at Lucas Oil Stadium. Shota Imanaga tossed a gem, and the Cubs win over the Nationals 5-0, and the White Sox lost to the Padres. The news service of the Chicago Board of Election Commissioners. Chicago needs election judges for the November 5 presidential election. Earn between $170 and $230 for your service. Go to pollworker.chicagoelections.gov to learn more. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
This radio station is always on. But sometimes you need more content that you can take with you anywhere. That's why we invented the SalemPodcastNetwork.com. You'll find all the great hosts on this radio station, plus a few more, like Charlie Kirk, Dinesh D'Souza, Trish Regan, Jenna Ellis, and Dennis and Julie. There's literally no end to what we can teach you. It's like radio on demand. And just like radio, it's always on. Go find out what you're missing. Download the app, SalemPodcastNetwork.com.
Hey, buddy. Good to see you back on the golf course. You must be feeling better, huh?
Yeah, I finally got my blood pressure under control without all the medication side effects.
Wow. New doctor?
No, a superfood juice, believe it or not.
A juice?
Yeah, it's called 120 Life. It's got ingredients like pomegranates, tart cherries, 6 natural ingredients that have shown to control blood pressure.
Huh.
Yeah, it tastes great and has worked wonders.
Awesome. Are you getting a golf cart?
Nope, I'm walking the course today.
Wow. You got any of that 120 Life on you?
Try 120 Life risk-free and get a 2-week trial pack. Order the 8-ounce drink or powdered mix. Go to 120life.com and use coupon code 560 to save 15% and get free shipping. They're so sure it can noticeably lower your blood pressure in 2 weeks, they'll give your money back if you're not satisfied. Order now. 120life.com. Use coupon code 560 at checkout to save 15% and get free shipping.
Quick delivery service. What do you need delivered today?
Hi, I'm trying to work through a last-minute to-do list for my boss. Can you deliver a hard drive to the Loop in Chicago?
We can deliver that today.
Okay, can you deliver 20 boxes to a client in Rockford?
We can deliver that today.
Can you deliver 12 pallets of tile to our customer in Naperville?
We can deliver that today.
Can you deliver a large envelope to Northbrook?
We can deliver that today.
Oh my gosh, I think my water just broke. Can you...
We cannot deliver that.
Quick Delivery Service delivers your package no matter the size. More than just a messenger service, Quick Delivery Service is a messenger and trucking service that can also provide scheduled routes for your daily delivery or your air shipment. Trucks are equipped to handle the load and provide ground-level service for same-day delivery. The Quick Delivery Service team of safe, licensed professionals can provide quick door-to-door service for your special delivery. QuickDelivery.com. That's QuickDelivery.com. We deliver that today. But we don't deliver this.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
6:38. Let's get a quick update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time, a service of Staples stores. Staples will beat any price quote. Plus now print more, save more. Up to $150 off your print purchase. Offer ends 11/2. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Staples.com/price match. And on the Kennedy outbound, report of an accident, left lane blocked at Chicago Avenue this morning. Delays on the Dan Ryan stop and go inbound in the express, 47th up through 31st. Tri-State jamming up northbound already between the Reagan and the Ike merge and in Bartlett, Kane County. Route 25, both directions, north and southbound at Bartlett Road, are shut down with an accident. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast, cloudy and 70 today. 62 and partly cloudy at O'Hare. Your next news update is at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, America First with Sebastian Gorka, weekday afternoons at 3 on AM 560 The Answer.
All right, good Monday morning. Everyone is talking about this New York Post article. The headline is Chicago gangbangers rage against newly arrived Venezuelan migrants as Tren de Agua moves in. The city is going up in flames. And I can tell you, if any of you were at Riot Fest, we know someone who listens to the show. It's all right. We know somebody who listens to the show who had a little bit of a problem over the weekend at Riot Fest. So they were parking their car on the city street, okay? Do you have a city sticker? He had a city sticker. And a Venezuelan allegedly came up to him and said, that'll be $20. And he said, I'm not paying. I I pay taxes. I paid for my city sticker. I'm parking on the street. And the Venezuelan from Tren de Agua said to him, if you don't pay me $20, I'm going to blow up your car. And guess what happened?
Wow.
They set his car on fire because he didn't pay $20. He said, and for those of you who know how much I love my car, you know that this really hurts. No arrests have been made, and that's just an example of how this city is literally going up in flames.
True.
So with more on this, let's welcome back to the program. I don't know if you've been on the morning show ever before.
Not the morning show.
Tyrone Muhammad, excuse me.
Yeah.
He is the founder for Ex-Cons for Community and Social Change.
Yes, ma'am.
And thank you so much for coming in.
And Ex-Cons for Trump.
Ex-Cons for Trump. Ex-Cons4Trump.com. I see the hat and I see the T-shirt. So, so you're living on the South Side right now.
Yes.
And just tell me what you're noticing with these Venezuelan gangs.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. And it's unfortunate, Amy, Dan being my friend, we got ran through the ringers together about me supporting him with the campaign. And I haven't heard from Dan. So and he hasn't had me on the show before you, Amy. So I'll tell Dan Dan, I'm gonna call you, man. We're gonna.
So you and Dan had a falling out?
No, I haven't. No,
because I don't want any more text messages from Ireland ripping on me for having guests on the show.
So, but when we start talking about the governor's campaign, I helped Dan distribute a lot of the information and press.
You mean for Darren Bailey?
Yeah, for Bailey.
Okay.
So.
Well, we're not here to talk about that.
That we won't, but I got beat up.
Yeah,
so I support who I want to support. I'm free.
Okay. Well, let's talk about this. Let's talk about these Venezuelan gangs and what is really happening.
Well, anytime you allow terrorists in our communities, and that's what I'm gonna call them, to go unchecked, you understand? We don't know who's coming in and out of our country, and unfortunately, it seemed to be the majority of the terrorist migrants are placed in black communities and communities that's already disinvested, that's already broken, that's already inundated with a gang culture and a level of poverty, right? Gang, drugs, and violence. And then you release men unchecked, unmonitored, into communities that's already feel violated.
Wow.
Now, it's on the community now, it seems, to deal with this issue. And that's what it's been. We've been constantly monitoring how the effect of this mass influx of terrorism and I'm gonna keep calling it that because that's what's gonna happen ultimately. Because we don't know who these people is. I don't believe that everybody coming through that border is purely just gangbangers.
Right.
We have to take public safety serious, and with no checks and balance of these men, of course they have to find common ground to migrate to their own culture, language, and crews and cliques. And we have found that a lot of these guys are integrating into gang culture that's already here,
right?
While bringing their own culture inside of it,
right?
So, are there any examples of them saying taking over apartment complexes or sections of certain neighborhoods?
Yes, absolutely. It seemed to be a lot of vacant apartments and vacant buildings, and we know personally that. They have taken boards off. They have seized buildings and proceeded to clean them up and occupy them. But just to be able to stand outside of a block, a community as a organized group, it's an indication or it's a stamp to say, This is our hood. We here. We're congregating, and then now you get into the fabric of the community.
Have you guys had any contact or any interactions with?
Yeah, I've had. Not you don't know who's who,
right?
But we see them. We familiar with our Latin folks, our Latin disciples, a Latin King group and brothers we've spent prison time with, and we.
But I'm talking about the terrorists you talking
about. But I can't say who's who because they murdered. They Spanish speaking.
But are they taking over? Like the Tren de Agua? Are they taking over?
It hasn't been that apparent.
Yeah.
You see, they it's already gang, drugs, and violence in Chicago.
Right.
So you don't know who's who and who. So if I'm a group and if I'm a Latin King and we're bringing men into our organization, then the Latin folks is going to feel like, hey, we have to do the same thing in order to keep up.
Wow.
So now you integrate these gangs, you're making the culture worse, and you're about to see a lot of bloodshed in effect, because now you're talking about territorial dispute as well as dividing community.
Well, outside of the Standard Club alone, there were 720 police incidents reported in the past 12 months.
Yes.
And I mistakenly took a wrong turn last summer and walked in front of the Standard Club. I ran. There was 4 cop cars. I ran from cop car to cop car, saying, I got to get off this block. It was so. It's like I entered a war zone
downtown,
and they were
streets.
Screaming at each other. And there was a black group to the right selling stuff, and then these guys were out there drinking, selling stuff. It was so scary.
Well, you have to understand that there's open drug market and prostitution downtown Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
If you go down Randolph, and a lot of these communities, I'm telling you, downtown Chicago is an open drug market and an open prostitute ring of women in alleys.
Wow.
And children hanging out on corners.
Oh, yeah.
And then the very fact and very nature that you can have these babies, and I bless these little children hard because they don't have no idea.
Yeah.
Their parents are using them as props to hustle money and collect money, even while we're paying.
I know.
And how is that even legal to use your children in the dangerous Chicago, on the streets of Chicago, in the in the roads?
I know. I've been
corners?
complaining about this because there's a mom at California and Western. And this kid, he's a toddler, and he keeps running out, and she keeps grabbing him like, oh, girlfriend, I mean, are you trying to get your child killed? But they don't know. And then this other homeless guy said they take their EBT cards, buy water, gum, and candy, and then sell it, and then pocket that money to buy whatever they want, because you can only buy certain things with an EBT card.
Right.
You can't buy.
Or I've seen it where they stand outside the store.
Yeah.
Oh,
and they say, hey, give me $20. You could go buy $50 worth of stuff. And things of that nature. And I've even had them approach me with that before, and I said, no, I wouldn't.
So is this just another reminder why we have to vote for President Trump to stop this? Because I know they're in the black neighborhood. They're also in the white neighborhood. We have the old British school. We have a group of their Venezuelans, Hondurans, trashing Montrose Beach. They're right across the street from Montrose Beach. And I'll even say like, oye, póngate tu basura. And they're like, and say something and then walk away. I mean, they have trashed our open areas.
Wow.
Because in their culture, they don't pick up garbage. I mean, you've been to Mexico. Well, it's not Mexicans, I'm sorry. But you've been to third world countries. I mean, I was in Haiti, too. They don't care. Their whole island is garbage. And they have so much garbage, and they start burning the garbage.
Right.
And it's just so strange how we're just forcing their culture onto American citizens who we're giving them rent money. We're paying for their... We're driving them to and from the doctor's office. We are putting them in our schools. And there's 118 different languages that they're speaking.
But on both sides, we talk public safety. Whether you're on the Republican or Democratic side, we talk public safety. Here we are with 18,000 homeless ex-cons living in Chicago. 18,000. You have homes. Even these men have paid their debt to society. And you wonder why recidivism rate is the way it is. If I'm already homeless after being housed for years in prison with your tax dollars, then you release me back on society, often worse than when I went in, because there's no reformation in prison. Now I got to victimize the citizens because the correctional institutions didn't do their job on that end because they're not made for correction. Those are warehouses. So now you release them back on the citizens. So we didn't spend our money well in prison, although we keep talking about lock them up. Lock them up to return them back to society to victimize you again if you never, and now you got housing for criminals coming across the border, but you have no housing for men who've actually been penalized for crimes, and these people, they in prison, released from prison, and they never served that time.
And I take it that's why you started ex-cons for Trump, because
Yeah.
you want Trump to really understand and get this message. So tell us in your own words.
So in my own words, ex-cons for Trump, we talk about the Clinton 94 crime bill, ushered in as well by Joe Biden, that ushered in mass incarceration of black men and boys in our community and women. Because black women now are one of the fastest growing population in prison.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Really?
And that should be an outrage. But anyway, while they talking about Kamala Harris, that's what she need to be talking about. So with that being said, Trump ex-cons for Trump under Trump First Step Act, he released thousands of black men back into the communities to be with their families because of the excessive sentences due to the Clinton 94 crime bill. And the thing I'm perplexed about is that his administration, the Republicans, the narrative of all the black men that Trump has released, that they don't even tap into the very culture and nature of the graciousness of these men in these communities.
Right.
And so ex-cons for Trump is that pushback to say we are not going to be systemically incarcerated in our own neighborhood by a party. For 60 years, we have been hook, line, and sinker voted blue no matter who as a community of black people. And and Democrats have not served our communities at all. So here we are now as black men who have the lowest unemployment rate, who are the most incarcerated, who are the least likely to be educated, and we're not working in these jobs. And then here come migrants on top of all the issues and ills that Democrats have allowed to happen to us in our communities. Here come an influx of migrants to take our jobs. Trump didn't lie. You're taking black jobs. If you want to be sensitive about it, that's your problem. That's your fault. But he didn't lie.
Yeah.
He just may not be the best surrogate to say it. I can say it. You taking black jobs.
Is Kamala Harris black?
No, absolutely not. Who told you?
Janet Jackson, by the way. Janet Jackson did an interview over the weekend.
Yeah,
She said she's not black.
Yeah, she got.
And she said her dad is Irish. Well, because on his birth certificate he put Indian and Irish.
They playing identity politics and gender politics, and if we allow that to happen based on the issue, so if I focus on gender politics, identity, and color, then we're not focusing on the issues that she don't have an answer to.
Now, there's a certain former presidential candidate that's taking notice of the message of ex-cons for Trump, and you got an event coming up, correct?
Yeah, so we have Wednesday we're doing the press conference because we're watching at the Trump Towers. We're doing the press conference
outside Trump Towers.
Outside,
okay.
And then we're going at 5 o'clock, at 4 o'clock Wednesday. Then we're going inside at the Rebar at 5 to just organize and gather and mingle ex-felons. And the political. I'm getting Bogorovich. Come on, Crossman. Come on through. Bogorovich is a member of ECCSC, ex-cons for Community and Social Change.
Wow.
So we're doing ex-cons for Trump, march to Mar-a-Lago. We want Trump to know that 20 million ex-cons are in America.
Yeah,
20 million ex-cons are in America.
And if you add just as involved individual people that may not have been in jail but had to brush with the law and probation or parole, that's 80 million. Trump win the presidency off of that population alone. In all of these swing states where we're able to vote.
Are you set up
but
in all
can
these
ex-felons?
I'm pretty much in 8 states. We are my organization, but ex-cons for Trump is building across the country. And we are going from we're mobilizing to say, we're marching to Mar-a-Lago to say, see, Secret Service can't even protect Trump. All the ills, the attempted assassination, we let them know you got to stand an army right here.
Wow.
If they would only get out your way, Trump, I don't know who his surrogates are, but you're not galvanizing the black vote in the communities.
But you're not marching to Mar-a-Lago.
We going to Mar-a-Lago. We're going to be there.
Okay.
We're going to be outside, and we're going to generate and draw the press and generate the buzz enough to make, even if he don't, someone with some sense to say, hey, We have to do better. And this is why the Republicans get their butts kicked in black communities, because they have poor messaging. They don't know how to. They always get these token individuals that don't speak for the grassroots black people. So we have to figure out, they need a balance to understand that prisons aren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
So no matter how much you talk about it, go ahead.
A lot of people think that ex-felons cannot vote, but that is not true.
I'm going to tell you this.
7 states you can't.
7 states, and most of them 7 states are Republican states. My goal is also to get them in their voters' rights back and and encourage.
7 states. Can you tell us what ones they are?
Arizona.
I'll look it up.
You could.
Is it Florida too?
Florida.
Yeah.
See, that's why Democrats can use that and say Republicans violate ex-felons every day. Yeah. They don't even restore their voting rights back. So now here's a president who released ex-cons due to the First Step Act. And then you have other red states that's violating ex-felons.
Right.
That can actually make a difference in the polls.
Right.
And I just hope that this movement and this push ex-cons for Trump help President Trump to see, and those who support him to see, that we're missing a great opportunity. And if they keep doing what they're doing, they lose this election, it would be their fault because they didn't tap into all of the voters' base.
Wow.
If people want more information about your organizations, I mean, I know exconsfortrump.com.
Trump.com is there, but as far as our violence prevention, reentry, workforce development program, that's ECCSC, that's ex-cons for community and social change. You can go to ECCSC.org. That's ECCSC.org, and then that's TyroneMuhammad.com.
All right, Tyrone Muhammad, good luck with your event on Wednesday, and I think you're going to be on with Dan Abrams later today, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Nice. Yes.
We'll
Tonight,
be watching tonight. All right. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
Exercise and a healthy diet can help, but that can be hard, especially as we start to get older. It's like the choice between taking the stairs or waiting for the elevator. Sometimes the easier option can be tempting. But just like choosing to take the stairs, you can choose to get a variety of 31 whole fruit and vegetable ingredients. Balance of Nature supplements are formulated from the best ingredients available, and it's as easy as taking 3 fruits and 3 veggies capsules every day. It's a small commitment, but it can help you feel your best. Start your journey with Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com to get 35% off your first order as a preferred customer with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
This is Sean Thompson. When you go on vacation, does it make sense to have somebody else pack for you? Of course not. The same can be said for your retirement. Your 401k could be packed with things you don't know about or even need. If you're close to retirement, but you don't have a plan customized to your goals, it's like kind of taking a 30-year vacation with no idea what's in the suitcase. Sounds like a stressful way to begin what should be a relaxing time. Tom Fortino at Alpha Wealth Group can help you unpack your savings and build a plan to reduce future taxes, address Social Security and healthcare, and a whole lot more, all with a clear, defined income strategy. Call the Alpha Wealth Group at 630-934-1855. Ask for the complimentary retirement plan. That's 630-934-1855 or online at alphawealthgroup.com. And listen to the Alpha Wealth Hour Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. right here on AM 560.
Advisory services through Retirement Wealth Advisors, LLC, and SEC Registered Investment Advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Alpha Wealth Group, licensed in Illinois.
WIND, Chicago.
Smoke hovers over southern Lebanon.
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. As Israel keeps targeting Hezbollah militants who keep firing rockets across the border, and Israel's urging people to evacuate in Lebanese villages.
Located in and next to buildings and areas used by Hezbollah for military purpose, such as those used to store weapons.
Israeli Defense Forces Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari. Fox's Nate Foy reports from Tel Aviv.
Hezbollah has fired into northern Israel 35 times. So far today, the IDF has hit 300 Hezbollah positions and counting. The IDF is focusing on Hezbollah launching positions and weapons facilities.
Two recent polls show how tight the race for president is. 6 weeks and a day before the election, an NBC News national survey gives Vice President Harris a 5-point lead.
But a New York Times Siena College poll this morning shows former President Trump leading 50 to 45% in Arizona, 49 to 45% in Georgia, and 49 to 47% in North Carolina.
Fox's Madeline Rivera. Now, the vice president raked in $27 million in campaign cash in New York yesterday, her biggest fundraiser since taking over as the Democratic candidate. Telling reporters at Joint Base Andrews she wants another debate with the former president.
The conversations that I think we should be having on substance, on issues, on policies. What's your plan? What's my plan?
But former President Trump isn't interested, telling Fox's Bill Malugin he's already debated her and President Biden.
To do a third one, everybody's voting now. And it's very late to be doing a third debate.
He'll hold a rally today in Pennsylvania. This morning, Ryan Ruth, the suspect in the second Trump assassination attempt at a golf course in Florida 8 days ago, is due back in federal court. It's a bond hearing. So far, Ruth is facing 2 federal gun charges.
The 2 charges carry a combined maximum sentence of 20 years in prison, but federal prosecutors say stronger charges could be coming.
That's Fox's Brooke Singman. America's listening to Fox News.
62 degrees. It's breezy this morning at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Former Chicago Alderman Ed Burke reporting to federal prison today by around 2 p.m. Burke is beginning a 2-year sentence at a minimum security facility, likely in Terre Haute, Indiana. The sentence comes after he was found guilty of racketeering, bribery, and extortion.
I'm certain that they know that I am a person of integrity and honesty.
Federal jury disagreed with Burke, the longest-serving alderman in Chicago history, convicted of corruptly soliciting work for his private law firm. Mayor Brandon Johnson says he's looking for alternatives to the gunshot detection system ShotSpotter that's being wound down beginning today. Chicago police stopped using ShotSpotter after the city's contract expired over the weekend. Alderman Jason Irvin wants better tech used in a better way.
We have, to me, I think, a misuse of the tool. I think the tool should be used more from an intelligence perspective and gathering information and being more predictive about where to put people.
Cook County is joining the state of Illinois offering tax breaks to tech manufacturers. Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle.
With the percentage of our state budget dedicated to pensions.
Preckwinkle hopes the tax breaks will lure in more businesses, especially manufacturers of semiconductors and microchips. Several cheerleaders from Oak Lawn Community High School were attacked during a football game at Richards High School. District officials say the incident occurred during halftime. It stemmed from a verbal argument that escalated into a physical confrontation. Oak Lawn police intervened and apparently removed all who were involved in the argument. Bears lost to the Colts 21-16. Baseball showed Imanaga a gem as the Cubs beat the Nationals 5-0. Win number 15 for Imanaga over 7 scoreless. The White Sox lost in San Diego 4-2. The news, a service of Balance of Nature. Order online at balanceofnature.com. Use coupon code Chicago to save 50% as a preferred customer. Hurry, that offer ends soon. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Your home is a valuable asset, and you want to take care of your home. From roofs, siding, windows, and doors to furnaces, flooring, landscaping, and much more. Listen to your go-to for all things home. It's Home Answers Radio every Sunday morning at 9. Presented by Lang Home Medical Equipment, Executive Green Carpet Cleaning, and by Valdecast Windows and Doors. Get answers from industry experts so you can make informed decisions about your home improvement. Right here on AM 560, The Answer.
What a waste of time, money, and vacation days. Hi, Amy Jacobson here. And if you've had a bad knee or hip replacement surgery, you know exactly what I'm talking about because sometimes the surgery doesn't even work. But there is an alternative, QC Kinetics. Check it out before you go under the knife. QC Kinetics uses your own body's properties to repair damaged joint tissue due to arthritis or an injury. Folks, it's regenerative medicine. Think about it. If you cut your hand, it eventually heals. But don't take my word for it. Find out for yourself with a free consultation. And what's really cool is the fact that Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, the National Medical Director and former orthopedic surgeon, is located right here in the Chicago area. Call now to end your chronic pain and learn more about QC Kinetics. They have new locations in Gurnee and Crystal Lake. Saturday appointments available. The number to call is 312-809-5955. That's 312-809-5955. 312-809-5955.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Oh, I love it. I'm 83 years old, and it has helped me.
Everything was okay. I feel better. I just turned 90, so I'm doing real good.
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. You know, some guys tell me, oh, that's psychological, man. I said, let me tell you something. I don't care what it is. It's working.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
7:07, Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. Kennedy starting off this morning at 73 minutes an hour and 13 in from O'Hare to the Burns Circle interchange. The Icon in right now, a full hour, 390 into the old post office. Outbound Stevenson, bad accident, left shoulder. Outbound at Harlem Avenue. Roadwork causing problems on DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Southbounders, you're in the thick of it. Montrose down to Fullerton Parkway, and delays still in Bartlett. Serious accident and investigation has shut down Route 25 north and southbound near Bartlett Road. Traffic is a service of Valdecast Windows. For the discerning homeowner looking for high-quality, professional-level window replacement service, contact Valdecast Windows, your award-winning Platinum Elite Pella certified contractor, Valdecast.com. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. Now, your official Chicagoland weather forecast with Steve Williams.
Rather cloudy for us today with a high 70. Clouds and a couple of brief showers tonight, low 60. And then clouds and showers tomorrow, the high 67. Pleasant, warmer, sun and clouds on Wednesday, the high at 77. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
62 and partly cloudy. Your next news update, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Amy Jacobson here, John Anthony, and
Hey.
for Dan Proft. Had a lovely time at your boat cruise.
Thank
By
you.
the way.
Thank you.
You want to thank the sponsors again?
Of course. Open Tax Advocate, Stephen Leahy, Papa Nicholas Coffee. Go to the website, papanicholas.com.
I'm drinking it right now.
Hey, and
Drink it every day.
Put in the code Thank You 30. You get 30% off the coffee. They're a new sponsor to my show, as well as Best Dental, Jimmy Economos. He sponsored it as well.
That's great, and I had a lovely time. So
Yeah.
thank you.
And
so much.
Earthworks, Dan Davies.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, so currently there is bombing going on in Israel into southern. Hezbollah is bombing into northern Israel. Bombs going back and forth, and of course the Israelis warned people. They said that any residents in the south of Lebanon to move away from any building connected to Hezbollah. And of course, the terrorists are wondering. They're afraid of what's going to explode next.
Yeah.
First the pagers, then the walkie-talkies. Some think this is an act of war. AOC is so upset.
Why is it wrong to blow up a terrorist pager? Well, currently U.S. Department of Defense guidelines actually explicitly prohibits the use of booby traps. They fired a rocket on a soccer field. 12 kids died just playing soccer. You know, when you compare that to blowing up their pager, is that a disproportionate response? It is important to identify that Hezbollah is a terrorist organization and that there are rules of war.
But you know who's praising it?
Who?
Calling it a genius idea? Senator Fetterman.
Yeah.
He's all over this.
No, not at all. And I want to be very clear. I thought what Israel chose to do about blowing up the pagers and then walkie-talkies, and then after targeting and eliminating membership and leadership of Hezbollah, I absolutely support that. In fact, if anything, I love it. And Israel demonstrated that they will not allow terrorists not to be held accountable. And I fully support that. And it's not about nothing that has what my colleague has said.
With more on this, let's welcome back to the program Stephen Bucci. Served America for 3 decades as an Army Special Forces officer and top Pentagon official. He's a visiting fellow at the Heritage Foundation's Allison Center for Foreign Policy Studies. Good morning, Mr. Bucci. How are you?
Oh, it's good to be on the show. Thanks for having me back, Amy.
Yeah.
How
So
come you don't get to play golf?
Pardon? Oh, yeah. Well,
play golf.
I do play, but I don't play at fancy places. I play at Park District golf courses, and I'm not going to play golf in Europe anytime soon. But yes, so what do you think? I mean, what could they possibly explode next? We had the pagers, the walkie-talkies. What's left?
You know, it's what's neat about this is that not just the kinetic effects, though those were great, and they got very targeted, hit their operators. You know, these were not pagers that were being sold to the general Lebanese public. These were pagers ordered specifically for Hamas by Hamas. So only the Hamas guys got blown up. There was a few collateral damage casualties, and that's sad. But compared to what Hezbollah has been doing for the last couple of months, come on, it is about as humane and inside of the rules of war as anything I've ever seen. I don't agree with a Democratic senator about much, but when it comes to Israel, Fetterman is hitting it out of the park. He's calling it exactly as I would. And as he said, not only does he approve of it, but he loves it. This was a brilliant operation, was not something, the people like the UN that are saying, oh, this is terrorism. That is baloney. This is not terrorism. It's terrorizing to the Hamas operators because right now they don't know what they can talk on, what they could pick up. I love the memes on X that had, pictures of Hamas sort of looking sideways at their electric toothbrushes and things like that. They're running scared. They don't know where Israel's going to hit them next. And that's exactly where you want a terrorist organization like Hezbollah.
But I mean, was it a button that was pressed and they all exploded at the same time? I mean, this is just out of a James Bond movie, don't you think?
It was brilliant. First, this was just good intelligence gathering. They found out Hezbollah had stopped using their cell phones because they realized Israel was targeting their leadership by location means to then target them with bombs and rockets. And so they stopped using cell phones. They deliberately ordered these old school pagers because they believed, and I think they were right, that technology is harder to track with modern digital signals. And they thought, okay, we got one on the Jews now. We're going to be able to do what we want, except the Mossad also found out about the order, intercepted it en route. That's called a supply chain attack. They got hold of the devices. The details of that I don't know. They somehow captured them and then implanted these devices, the explosives, into the pagers with a triggering device that would go off when a certain number was dialed. Yeah. And we don't know exactly how long those have been in there. They ordered these back, around right after the October 7th attack that Hamas made last October. And then a decision was made, and this is where we're not sure. Did they decide to do it because Hezbollah was about to do another big attack similar to October 7th on Israel, or had they started to get suspicious about the devices and Israel was afraid they were going to figure out that they were all loaded with explosives and would stop using them? So the decision was made to execute the operation. A certain number was dialed that went to all of the pagers in the system, wherever they were. Wow. And they all went off pretty much simultaneously, got Hezbollah operatives, Hezbollah leadership, Iranian IRGC, Quds Force, Spetsnaz type guys who were actually in Syria but were there to advise and assist Hezbollah. And they even got the Iranian ambassador to Lebanon, who, why does he have a Hezbollah pager? Could it be because he's the one transferring orders from Tehran back to this proxy force for Iran? So, no tears there. He was not operating as a diplomat. He was operating as a terrorist in another country. So good on Israel. Wonderful operation. They got 99.9% of the casualties were bad guys. America never operates that precisely. We try to, but we've never been fortunate to get this level of enemy casualties, vice collateral damage. So, AOC, the guys at the UN, all these people, Talita Rashid, who's, a congresswoman here in Michigan where I live, sorry, you guys are dead wrong. What Israel did was not only justified, but was something that should be applauded by anybody who cares about peace and stability in the region.
Yeah. Stephen, how did these pagers come about to be made? Was it a company in Taiwan? And how did Israel find out that these pagers and these handheld, because I know they switched out the batteries. That's where they put the detonation. They switched out one of the batteries. You're right about that. But how did Israel come to know that these were being delivered?
Really good intel, and obviously some moles inside of Hezbollah who recognized that they had made the decision to switch from the cell phones to the pagers and then ordered them. These pagers were designed by a company in Taiwan, but it appears that they were actually made by, I think that's a Hungarian company.
Okay.
Actually produced them and sold them under license from that company in Taiwan. The company in Taiwan is saying, hey, we didn't have anything to do with this.
Right, because they stopped off somewhere.
Well, aren't they afraid of being, targeted by a terrorist organization, Hezbollah or Hamas? Is that possible?
Oh, well, yeah, because they, if they feel that company were the ones behind all this, but frankly, it doesn't look like the Taiwanese, I don't think, had anything to do with it other than making the design. The Hungarian company that had the license for it, that actually produced them and sold them, I'm not sure they cooperated with Israel, or did Israel just catch the shipment en route and do the switch there? That still remains to be seen. Obviously, the Israelis are not going to brag about it because they're a lot smarter than the American leadership, who feels they got to crow from the rooftops every time they do a covert op, which sort of defeats the purpose of being covert, by the way. But the Israelis tend to be a little quieter. They know that Hezbollah knows that Israel did it, and that's the message that they want to send. Beyond that, the Israelis, they don't have to get it in the newspapers.
And what about the ground attacks, or air missile strikes, because Israel is targeting Hezbollah weapons facilities? Is this going to escalate to something larger?
It could potentially, but it's also defanging Hezbollah further. Hezbollah is the largest terrorist army in the world and has an incredible number of missiles, rockets, and drones, all designed to fire at the civilian targets in Israel. And right now, Israel has said, stop doing it. And when they hadn't stopped, now they're going out and they're taking out their launchers, their storage sites. And gee, big surprise, most of them are stored in civilian buildings.
Yeah.
Again, that's not Israel's fault. That's Hezbollah using their own civilians as shields. And Israel has finally said, you know what, enough's enough. If you're a civilian, get away from those targets. But if you're there, we're sorry, but we have to protect our own people. And that's what they're doing. So, again, no tears here. This is on Hezbollah, not on Israel.
Yeah. I want to talk quickly about the two assassination attempts. When you look at some of the similarities between the two shooters, they both appeared in Black Rock commercials. But specifically this second guy who was traveling back and forth to Ukraine, could this have been, I don't want, without sounding like conspiracy theories, but you just never know what as it relates to today and the government. But could Ukraine have had something to do, he worked with an operative from Ukraine that set up this last hit on Trump? Because I believe Ukraine knows, the money's going to cut off if Trump gets in there and becomes president.
I think it would be really stupid if Ukraine did that, because even though Donald Trump has stated, without question, that he is massively skeptical about giving all his aid to Ukraine helter-skelter, he has also shown himself, contrary to what the Dems would love to tell you, that he is anything but a friend to Russia.
Right.
And when they're in their aggressive mode, he's the only president that gave permission to blow away several hundred Russian mercenaries in Syria during the war there, when they were threatening an American special operations base. For Ukraine to try and kill him and take the chance of that coming out and totally closing down any possibility of aid when President Trump gets back in office, I think would have been just incredibly short-sighted. I'm not going to say that somebody in Ukraine didn't tell this knucklehead, hey, it would be really easy if somebody got rid of that guy Trump before he gets in office, because he doesn't really like us. This guy's not well. Other people who operated with him said he was pretty much a screwball. None of us wanted to be around. It could be somebody at a low level that maybe planted that idea. I don't see this as a conspiracy that started at the Zelensky level,
right? I
in the
agree
Ukrainian
with that.
government. Yeah. I just think that's it just doesn't pass the common sense test from Ukraine's interest level.
Yeah.
But,
I saw some of the people that follow him on Twitter before they deleted his account. I mean, it was a lot of people in high level governmental positions.
Oh yeah, he got around Washington. In Ukraine too.
Yeah.
But are you surprised Attorney General Merrick Garland, he's not going to be charging him with attempted assassination? So I mean, if you think about Merrick Garland's thought process, he must somehow think that this man was just in the bush that day on the golf course for some other reason with a weapon for 12
he
hours.
on the golf course hunting for gophers, that's for sure.
Yeah. I mean,
it's again, Merrick Garland, I don't know if he's still mad at, President Trump and the Republicans for the fact that he never made it to the Supreme Court. But I got to tell you, the way he plays fast and loose with the law, I think America dodged a huge bullet keeping that man off the Supreme Court.
Amen.
But I mean, this man went and he camped out in a bush at Donald Trump's golf course for 12 hours with body armor, a fully loaded SKS, and that's not enough for attempted charges. All right, so Mr. Bucci, you said that you were in Michigan. How do you think Michigan's going to vote this in 48 days from now?
Well, sadly, the part of Michigan I live in the upper or the middle third of the state. Our third and the upper third vote solidly red all the time. The problem is the lower third of the state, which votes blue, has about 80% of the population. So I will not be surprised if Michigan goes to the Democrats, but it's sad, and I'm just praying that enough people down south will see the reality of the difference between the policy proposals of the two candidates and not just vote the party or not just vote, well, she's a woman or she's a person of color and vote that way. I think that would be unfortunate because I got to tell you that the Democratic platform is not going to help working people. It's not going to help the car industry. It's not going to help the urban areas we have down south in any way, shape, or form. And I think Trump's policies probably would.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, she's not. I'm telling you, I think she's lying about fracking. I think she's lying about EVs. I think she's going to mandate EVs. I think she's going to get rid of fracking. And
but see, that's why I
just don't trust her.
That's why I want Trump to do another debate because the last time Trump didn't really fact check her. He just continued to answer questions. That's why I want another debate because Trump shines in those
Mandatory gun buyback program.
Trump shines in those moments.
I know. All right,
Yeah.
Stephen Bucci, we're going to have to leave it there for today. He served America for 3 decades as an Army Special Forces officer and top Pentagon official, visiting fellow in the Heritage Foundation's Allison Center for Foreign Policy Studies. Thank you so much, Stephen. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
You as well. We'll talk to you next week.
Okay. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Did you know your life insurance is an asset you can sell? I'm Jay Jackson, CEO of Abacus Life. For almost 20 years, Abacus has been purchasing life insurance policies from seniors just like you. And at abacuspays.com, we've created a free policy value calculator so you can find out the worth of your policy in just seconds. There are no fees and no obligations. Get real value from your life insurance when you need it with Abacus. Learn more at abacuspays.com.
This fall season, don't forget your Balance of Nature supplements. A proud supporter of this radio station for 10 years. You know, that turkey, pumpkin pie, and ice cream aren't going to cut it. Your body needs fruits and vegetables to stay healthy, happy, and energized. That's why I've been supplementing with Balance of Nature for nearly a decade. It's so easy just to open up those individual capsules, sprinkle it over a salad. My mom puts it in her applesauce. I just sprinkle it in warm water, and voila, I love it. And if I have a craving for a cookie or something sweet in the afternoon, I grab one of those fruit capsules and chew on that. Here's the number to call, 800-246-8751. 800-246-8751. Use coupon code Chicago to save 35% off your first set and free shipping when you sign up as a new preferred customer. 800-246-8751. Call now or order online at balanceofnature.com and use coupon code Chicago to save 35%.
Chicagoland certified financial planning professional Tim Stearns discusses taxes in retirement.
Most people are paying more in taxes and keeping less of their money to live and do what they enjoy. That's why we've put out the retirement tax bill calculator online. You can see with your own eyes just how much you might be overpaying. It's a valuable tool, $500 value, but we made it free for you to view and run your own numbers at mvpcfp.com. That's mvpcfp.com.
To run your retirement tax bill calculator, go to mvpcfp.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Cornerstone Securities, LLC.
IT support, how can we help?
Hey there, we have a huge problem. Our network crashed and our entire assembly line is down. We're losing thousands of dollars an hour. Can you help?
Please hold.
What did they say?
They put me on hold.
We gotta get this line back running now.
IT support, who are you holding for, please?
Oh, hi. I need help. My network is down. I've been on hold for over...
Sorry, wrong call. Please hold again.
Sound familiar? Don't let a network problem cost your business thousands of dollars. Turnkey is the champion of small businesses. For the price of a monthly car payment, Turnkey will fully protect your network with the most secure, up-to-date cyber protection, unlimited backup, unlimited 24/7 help desk support, and real-time threat hunting. All by world-class technicians who really care about helping people. Protect your small business today. Visit turnkey.pro today.
Dinesh D'Souza's new movie, Vindicating Trump, exposes the real reason for the left's pathological hatred of Trump.
Trump has beaten back every attack against him.
I am your voice.
We have one target. Let's look at everything. Campaign, his family.
Isn't that election interference?
It's not interference if we do it.
And that scares them.
Vindicating Trump. In theaters nationwide, Friday, September 27th. Get your tickets today at vindicatingtrump.com. Rated PG-13. May be inappropriate for children under 13.
I'm going to let you in on a little wireless hack that can cut your cell phone bill in half. Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile have convinced you need unlimited data. Fact is, most people don't. Pure Talk only charges $25 a month for unlimited talk, text, and 5 gigs of data plus hotspot. Stop overpaying for wireless. Dial pound 250 and say spend less, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month with Pure Talk.
AM 560, The Answer.
Naughty and nasty, what to do with Dr. J. Varma. We'll begin there with Jessica Hackett. But now let's head into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
61 degrees. We have partly cloudy skies at the moment. We expect temperatures to rise to the low 70s later today. Topping our news, intense Israeli airstrikes in Lebanon. Here's Fox's Jonathan Savage.
Images on social media show clouds of smoke. Says it's begun widespread strikes on militant targets after identifying Hezbollah plans for large-scale rocket attacks. Over the weekend, Hezbollah launched some 150 projectiles across the border. Israel's warning Lebanese residents to get out of homes and other buildings where the militants store weapons. The goal of Israel's campaign is to make the border area safe enough for thousands of displaced citizens to return home. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
Also this morning, the man authorities believe wanted to shoot former President Donald Trump on a Florida golf course has a detention hearing scheduled for later today. Ryan Ruth was caught not long after Secret Service agents saw him sticking a rifle out of the bushes on Trump's golf club on Palm Beach. House Speaker Mike Johnson says his chamber will vote this week on a stopgap funding bill that would likely keep the federal government open through December 20th.
It's clear that only a bipartisan budget bill will keep the government open.
Senator Chuck Schumer is in agreement with the plan. The government is set to begin a shutdown at the beginning of next month. The search is on for the suspects who killed 4 in a Birmingham mass shooting over the weekend. Birmingham, Alabama Police Chief Scott Thurman says they believe the intended target was among the dead.
We believe that there was a hit, if you will, on that particular person, as far as, someone was willing to pay money to have that person killed.
Investigators believe the other victims were caught in the crossfire. Former Chicago Alderman Ed Burke reporting to federal prison today by 2 p.m. Burke is beginning a 2-year sentence at a minimum security facility thought to be in Terre Haute, Indiana. Mayor Brandon Johnson looking for alternatives to the gunshot detection system ShotSpotter that began being dismantled over the weekend. City Council did vote last week to approve an ordinance giving Superintendent Larry Snelling the power to sign a new contract with ShotSpotter. However, Johnson is threatening to veto that legislation. And a 17-year-old boy charged as an adult in the shooting and killing of his mother in Chicago. Davion Pryor was ordered detained and will remain behind bars in the death of Tatanisha Jackson last Thursday. Bears lost to the Colts 21-16. College football, the number 19 Fighting Illini remain undefeated with a 31-24 overtime win over Nebraska. 4-0 Illini now at number 9 Penn State this Saturday. Cubs beat the Nationals 5-0, and the White Sox lost to the Padres. The news service of Balance of Nature. Splash into savings. Save 50% off your first preferred order with promo code Chicago. Order online at balanceofnature.com and use coupon code Chicago to save 50%. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Every family's budget the hardest are the price of gas and the price of groceries. And for the past few years, we've all been feeling that pain. That's why AM 560 wants to help fill your gas tank and your pantry. It's our gas and groceries giveaway contest. You could win up to $10,000 in gift cards for gas and groceries. Enter today at 560theanswer.com/contest. That's 560theanswer.com/contest.
It's Jeep Adventure Days, and Bettenhausen Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram on 159th Street in Tinley Park has your ticket to anywhere. Hurry into Bettenhausen and get huge savings off MSRP on a new Grand Cherokee, Jeep Wrangler, or Jeep Gladiator. Bettenhausen has big savings on a new Ram 1500 or new Chrysler Pacifica. Bettenhausen has the Midwest's best selection. Choose from over 900 vehicles with no hassle and no haggle. Showroom never closes at BettenhausenCDJR.com.
Protecting and growing your retirement assets can be complicated. From asset and legacy protection to retirement income and extended care, you need a plan. Mark Kohler, host of Retirement and Income Radio, heard Sundays at 11 a.m., helps retirees in or near retirement protect their accounts from market volatility. Mark can help you create lifetime guaranteed, inflation-hedged income. Call Mark today at 844-619-SAFE. That's 844-619-7233. And listen this Sunday at 11 a.m. to Retirement and Income Radio.
Hold off on purchasing your first order from Balance of Nature because I've got some information you need to hear. If you go to balanceofnature.com to buy their popular fruit and veggies supplements, a discount offer will pop up. It may say 20 or 25% off your first order. Don't click that because if you use my code, you'll get 35% off your first order, plus free shipping. Now, my special promo code is Mike G. Use my code and save big. Here's another bonus. Balance of Nature has a risk-free money-back guarantee. So go ahead and find out for yourself what so many of us already know. There's no other product out there like Balance of Nature when it comes to fruit and veggie supplements. Whether you order online or call them direct, use the promo code MikeG and you'll get this special offer of 35% off and free shipping. Just call 800-246-8751, 800-246-8751. Use the discount code MikeG or order online, balanceofnature.com. Use the discount code MikeG to get 35% off.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
7:38. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. This update is service of Valdecas Windows for the discerning homeowner looking for high-quality, professional-level window replacement service. Contact Valdecas Windows, your award-winning Platinum Elite Pella certified contractor, valdecas.com. The Kennedy, right now 90 minutes O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. Inbound Ike, accident at Manheim. Your stop and go from Wolf all the way through Manheim. Stevenson outbound, accident reported, left shoulder, outbound at Harlem Avenue. DuSable Lakeshore Drive, stop and go, a mess southbound between Wilson and Fullerton in that new roadwork zone. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Cloudy and a high of 70 today. Cloudy with a brief shower overnight, low 60. Partly cloudy and 61. Your next news update is at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Hello. Good Monday morning. Is this thing on? Yes. Amy Jacobson here, John Anthony, and for Dan Proft.
Hey.
I mean, could this world get even crazier than it already is? Steven Crowder, his mug club, had a lady sit down with Dr. Varma. Dr. Varma would be the equivalent of our Allison Arwadi here. Dr. Varma was the COVID czar, who talked Mayor de Blasio into vaccine mandates, who locked everybody down, who, if you sold personal goods out of your home, the police would come. Well, guess what he did during COVID? He didn't get his drink on. He had drug-fueled sex parties, orgies.
Whoa.
Yeah, because, it was a lot of pressure. He had to release somehow. So this is the undercover tape where he's talking to a woman.
I actually was the one who convinced the mayor to make it a mandate.
Like, New York City found out that you're having sex parties during COVID?
Yeah, it would have been a big deal. Yeah, it would have been real bad. We went to some, underground, dance party, underneath a bank in Wall Street. And we were all rolling, we were all taking Molly, and everybody's high.
Whoa.
And I was so happy, because I hadn't done that in, a year and a half, a year or whatever. And but I was looking around being like, I wonder if he sees anything differently. Because this was not COVID friendly. The only way I could do this job for the city was if I had some way to blow off steam every now and then. You're kind of sneaky about it because hotels didn't want people gathering there. Because I was running the entire COVID response of the city. My wife and I had one with our friends, in August of that first summer. So we rented a hotel and it was fun. We all took Molly and just it was 8 or 9 of us and 8 to 10 of us in a room and everybody had a blast because everybody was so pent up because it had been everybody was just stuck together and stuff like that. Yeah. And sometimes it's not so much about executives. Sometimes it's just something about bodies being close to each other, right? Just being naked with friends.
Was that when everyone was locked down?
It was the summer of 2020. So walk around the streets and eat outdoors.
Did you have any mandates in place?
There wasn't any restrictions on gathering. You could technically gather people. The hotels didn't want to necessarily have parties, but they weren't gonna
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's because I did all this deviant sexual stuff while I was on TV and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And people aren't you afraid? Aren't you embarrassed? And I was no, actually, I'm really I love being my authentic self. So the way we do it in public health is we make it very uncomfortable to be unvaccinated. I don't expect your education to change your behavior. I'm just going to make it really hard for you to do your job. You can't get a job. You can't go to a restaurant. You can't go to school. It's at least going to get vaccinated.
So was it technically kind of forcing people?
Yeah, that's what you force people by making it really uncomfortable.
You force people to get vaccinated by making it really uncomfortable. And he was in charge. I mean, he came out. The first line was, I was actually the one to make the vaccines mandated.
Wow.
Bill de Blasio, who hired him, who took advice for him for years. Oh, I had no idea this was happening.
Did you have any knowledge of this at the time? And I wonder what your response is now.
I had no knowledge of it. I find it disgusting and unacceptable. This is someone we trusted as a teammate to tell the people of New York City from his extensive medical background how we could keep everyone safe. And that also meant we all had to show integrity and consistency. I'm shocked. It's painful. It's unacceptable. I have not heard the audio. I hope he has apologized to his colleagues and even more so to the people of New York City. He owes everyone an apology for sure.
Apology? Wow. He should be arrested.
Wow.
And today, there's Councilwoman Vicky Palladino. They want people to gather, people who were fired, who should have reparations. They should get back pay and get their jobs back.
We are calling upon the Adams administration on City Hall steps on Monday at 12 noon, a press conference. I want to see everybody there. Whether you were a teacher, a first responder, you were a police officer, you are a fireman, in any way, a small business owner. This affected you. Be on City Hall steps this Monday, the 23rd at 12 noon. Let's see us in loud voices on the steps of City Hall. This affected you. He ruined your lives. And to this day, 5 years later, how many of your lives are still ruined? Your children are not the same because this piece of human garbage said we couldn't do anything. Now, I want to say
at
this.
noon, we'll see who shows up today.
Yeah.
But somebody texted in, I'm from New York. My son couldn't attend high school, couldn't work, just had to sit at home for months, all for this lie. These people are completely sick, and they're going to go to prison. I hope so. Will they be arrested? I hope so. The most disgusting people are in charge of us.
Wow.
We can't allow this. With more on this, let's welcome back to the program Jessica Hockett. She's a PhD, an independent researcher, focusing now on COVID events in early 2020 with an emphasis on the New York City alleged death spike. Good morning, Jessica. How are you?
Good, Amy. How are you? Good to be back.
Good. Yes, we were hoping to have you in studio, but we understand things happen. It's all right.
I know.
And John Anthony's here too.
Hey.
With the gang would be
John, how are you?
I'm doing well.
all
How are
back
you?
together. So, were you surprised when you heard about Dr. Varma's sexual proclivities?
No, I wasn't. You know, we live in the Chicago area. I'm really used to hearing about corrupt officials all the time. Of course, this is just another example of the rules for me and not for the kind of hypocrisy that we saw over and over again in 2020 and beyond, including with Lori Lightfoot, right? The haircut. Now, I know that getting a haircut is not the same as having drug-infused sex parties, but yeah, the hypocrisy is no surprise. You know, my biggest concern, insofar as this guy getting arrested, the only thing I could see him getting arrested for is maybe the drug aspect, and that is a big deal. He's a public health official, and he's engaging at minimum in a risky behavior with an illegal activity with the drugs. But I think what people need to be asking themselves is, once again, is, you know, there was ostensibly a virus that killed over 20,000 people. And an additional 7,000 with the response or from other effects in New York City in 11 weeks. But then we have this public official who's behaving as if there's not really anything deadly going on. So I hope this New York City, this council, this committee, this common sense committee with that firecracker councilwoman we just heard from, wow, she sounds amazing. Yeah. But I hope they ask themselves what really went on in 2020. Was there really a sudden spreading virus that came out of nowhere and dropped like a bomb on the city? And if that was the case, would public officials be acting like this? I don't think so.
I mean, New York was ground zero, and Governor Cuomo was America's governor. There was even talk of him being, president or the VP nominee, and he's just as guilty. But he testified recently in front of a subcommittee, and what came of that?
In my opinion, nothing's going to come of that. It's the same old thing. The focus was on a March 25th policy where Governor Cuomo, and actually other states had this policy too, said that nursing homes could not reject the admission or readmission of residents based on whether or not they had a positive COVID test, which I think is actually not a bad policy because you don't want to hold somebody hostage in a hospital based on the result of a test that you can test positive on for up to 3 months afterwards. Wow. We know now. So they're trying to link that policy, that the whole hearing it began with the presumption or operated under the assumption that this policy led to these deaths, but in nursing homes. But the truth is that most deaths and most COVID deaths by far in New York City happened in hospitals. Hospitals claim to have lost the equivalent of every occupied bed in 11 weeks. I've been focusing on this event for almost 2 years now, and I really question the government's claim that the number of people who are claimed to have died actually died in the time frame. We need evidence. We need proof. That's where I think the focus should be, and I hope this council starts to ask themselves some questions about what really went on and demand proof, just a basic list of names of the dead. We don't even have that, and this was 10 times the casualties of the World Trade Center disaster in 11 weeks.
You know, Jessica, I'm actually shocked that this Congress, the House Republicans, haven't tried to do something on that, because we had a doctor on last week or a couple of weeks ago who told us that the bird flu's coming.
The bird flu's
That's
the next
coming.
pandemic.
That's going
in
to be the next.
October.
Right. So Jessica, I mean, do you think Americans are going to stand down if should that happen after what happened with COVID?
Well, I think we need evidence of what exactly happened with COVID. This claim that there was a pandemic it's most obvious to me in New York City, where you look at the data and you see like nothing is going on with death. Nothing is going on with death by respiratory disease until the government says 15 days to slow the spread. And then we see this incredible spike that's it's unparalleled around the world, except some provinces in northern Italy. That doesn't make sense. Where are the bodies from this event? Again, where are the names? You can't get death certificates as public records in New York. Why not? They had a 200% increase in deaths of young people, most of which is blamed on COVID-19. We know COVID-19 doesn't, whatever you believe about it, we know it doesn't kill younger working age adults.
No.
And yet New York City says that they have, a ton of young adults that died from that in hospitals. Where's the investigation? Where's the inquiry?
So are you saying that they just made up these deaths since you can't, I mean.
You know what? I've read
from
a few articles on that. I'm not saying that they made up deaths, although that would be pretty easy to hit an extra zero, right? I mean, or hit an extra, by whether by error or by intention. I'm saying if the U.S. government is going to make a claim about the biggest mass casualty event in a U.S. city's history outside of a war, they need to provide proof, at least in the form of names and days of death. Where's the memorial? Where's the tribute to all of the dead? I want them first to substantiate the event. And if this incident with Dr. Varma and the sex parties gets us to these critical questions, then I'm all for this kind of inquiry. Otherwise, I think it's just going to be another circus and a distraction, just like the Cuomo stuff is.
Yeah, but I thought Dr. Adwadi told us there are people who died from COVID and there are people who died with it. And that was the distinction, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's another issue altogether. Yeah, it is related, but I guess what I'm questioning is just the number of people who died. Period.
Right.
They need to substantiate it. But yeah, in Chicago we had the same kind of issue with actually all over the world the same kind of issue was there, where a positive test was just used to define a COVID death. Right. At least in Chicago, our medical examiner is somewhat accountable. You can get death certificates. There's a database where you can look at every death every day. They don't have anything like that in New York. So, if you wanted to lie about the number of people that died, you would do it in New York. You wouldn't do it in Chicago.
But why would they lie about it? What was in it for them? Because there's always got to be a motive.
That's a great question. I mean, people have different theories, but if you are going to claim that a virus is suddenly spreading from China or any place else, you need it to strike your densest city.
Okay.
Right? Your densest city, because if it doesn't strike your densest city with your claims about spread, then is it really dangerous? So if it strikes New York, right, or appears to strike New York and kill all these people, then you can tell everyone. And we were told this in Chicago. Don't you remember? Look at what's happening in New York. The hospital.
Everything was about New York. Yeah. Everything was New York. And then they sent that Mercy ship there. And
nobody
just in case no one ever used it.
No, nobody used it. I have hospital data that shows that their hospitals were not overwhelmed. So what was really going on there? And no matter who is elected president in November, somebody needs to get to the bottom of this and just prove that this event happened.
I swear, I think that they did this to take down Trump.
Well,
I mean, because they changed the way we vote.
Yeah.
They changed the way politicians campaigned. They did everything.
I called it a biological attack on our country. And you forgot one thing, though, Jessica. I'll tell you what motivated them. Trillions of dollars that were put out there. That was a lot of motivation. All that money, the pharmaceutical companies. Think about how much money the pharmaceutical companies made.
Yeah, absolutely. And anybody who sits down and reads the CARES Act, especially in retrospect now, will see that, okay, the CARES Act, this was really banking on this thing continuing for months. There was never any intention for this to just be 2 weeks to slow the spread. Like, this bill was for the long haul.
Yeah.
And you can really tell when you look back at it now. So a lot of people benefited. If Donald Trump was fooled, as some people tried to tell me that he was, well, then he should be the first person up there saying, what happened in New York? Let's get an investigation. So again, maybe this Varma and Cuomo stuff will be catalyst for that to finally getting to the bottom of it.
And we'll see, who's going to show up today at noon in New York, because we'll be watching, that's for sure. And what are you working on right now? Anything you want to promote, or your new Twitter handle?
Oh, yeah, I do have I'm trying to move away from my 60,000 follower account. I don't want anything with that many followers for the time being. So I'll be at what is it now? J.A. Hockett 76. At J.A. Hockett 76.
At J.A. Hockett 76.
Yeah.
Okay, now you must be the only person in the world that I know that doesn't want Twitter followers. That's a whole segment in itself, but tell me why again.
Well, especially as a woman, honestly, there's a lot of drawbacks that come with having a lot of followers, a lot of predatory people, a lot of people who, target you and your family, try to get your husband fired, and so I just, I'm not going to delete the account. I'm going to keep it like as an archive. But yeah, I want to move on to something for now, a little more to do.
Yeah, you know what? I got to tell you, when I talk about the left, they will not stop till you're dead.
No.
That is another example of what they do. Yeah. They start with the smear campaign, then they go after our family members.
Yeah, but Jessica, how are you outed? How did they figure out who you were?
You know what? I think I just outed myself. I didn't, when I had that account, you mean the Emma, when it was Emma Woodhouse?
Yes.
It wasn't really, my identity wasn't really a secret. It was just an eponym, a pen name. I mean, I used to come on the show here, organize that rally downtown. So I don't feel like anybody ever outed me. It's just like, this is a pen name that I'm using, and then I eventually changed it. But I will tell you, I was afraid for my spouse losing his job. I was afraid because of the various things that people did to try to come after him, come after me. It was pretty malicious.
Yeah, when you filled in with me that one show on Black and Right, I remember you telling me this. So I'm glad that you're okay now.
Yeah, no, thanks very much. But I will I'm continuing at woodhouse76.com to investigate the New York City event. I have some colleagues who just published a book, Martin Neal and Norman Fenton, who are in the UK, statisticians and scientists. It's called Fighting Goliath, Exposing the Flawed Science and Statistics Behind the COVID-19 Event. I'm contributing co-author on 6 of the chapters, including the chapter on the disappearing flu, which, by the way, the flu did not disappear. Positive tests did, but not the flu. So you can read about that in the book. So yeah, that's what I'm doing now. I'm gonna keep going, studying what's happening.
Good for you.
Not put it out there.
You're my hero. Love you to pieces. Again, the book is Fighting Goliath. Jessica Hockett. You can follow her now at J.A. Hockett 76. So thank you so much for joining us. We so appreciate you, and keep up the good work.
Thanks, Amy. Take care.
Take care.
John.
Bye-bye.
And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
As long as we are proud of who we are and what we are fighting for, there is nothing we cannot achieve. As long as we have confidence in our values, faith in our citizens, and trust in our God, we will never fail. Our families will thrive, our people will prosper, and our nation will forever be safe and strong and proud and mighty and free. Thank you, and God bless America.
This moment in American history has been brought to you by Earthworks. Learn more at earthworksinc.com.
AM 560. The Answer.
Oh, my blood's boiling. Gotta fight back. All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, Fetterman's at it again. Pennsylvania may be Trump territory.
Nice.
We'll begin there with Oliver Bateman, but now let's head into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Ed Burke reporting to federal prison today. Mayor Johnson says he's looking for alternatives to ShotSpotter. 1 killed, 6 wounded in a Southwest Side shooting. A teen is detained for a mother's killing in Chicago. Illinois Secretary of State facilities are beginning to shift their hours to earlier in the morning. Bears fall to the Colts. Fighting Illini take down Nebraska. Cubs blank the Nationals. And the White Sox tie their losses record. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
New evidence in the second Trump assassination attempt. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. We just got it from the Justice Department 8 days after the plan was thwarted at a golf course in Florida. And hours before Ryan Ruth, the suspect, goes back to federal court for a bond hearing. So far, he's only facing gun charges, but that could change soon.
The DOJ releases this letter from Ruth where he says, quote, this was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump. Now, this letter came from a civilian that contacted police after they say Ruth dropped off a box at their house several months prior to the attempt. After learning of the incident, the witness opened this box and found ammunition with the letter that also says he will offer $150,000 to whoever can, quote, complete the job if he failed.
That's Fox's Brooke Singman. Former President Trump has a lead in 3 toss-up states. In New York Times, Siena surveys just out today ahead of Vice President Harris in Arizona, Georgia, and North Carolina. She has a 5-point lead nationally in an NBC poll. The Vice President held her biggest fundraiser yet, getting $27 million in New York. And talking to reporters at Joint Base Andrews, she challenged Trump.
Join me on the debate stage. Let's have another debate. There's more to talk about, and the voters of America deserve to hear.
The former president is not interested, telling Fox's Bill Malugin.
Well, I've already done 2 debates, and we're good.
He'll hold a campaign rally today in Pennsylvania. Israel keeps hitting Hezbollah targets in Lebanon with a barrage of airstrikes.
But residents further north in the capital Beirut have received Israeli evacuation warnings on their phones. A Lebanese minister calls it psychological war. Hezbollah launched around 150 rockets into Israel over the weekend in what it said was retaliation for Israeli attacks. Israel is trying to force Hezbollah away from border areas so that some 60,000 displaced residents can return home.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. That fighting against Hezbollah and Hamas. Big topic this week at the UN General Assembly. America's listening to Fox.
61 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Former Chicago Alderman Ed Burke reporting to federal prison today by 2 p.m. Burke is beginning a 2-year sentence at a minimum security facility, likely in Terre Haute, Indiana. Mayor Brandon Johnson looking for alternatives to the gunshot detection system known as ShotSpotter. The mayor has announced a request for information has been issued to gather recommendations on reliable and efficient, he says, forms of first responder technology. In reaction, Pastor Donovan Price says that will make many communities in the city even more unsafe.
Request for information is even a slower process. It seems like the mayor has very strong opinions with ShotSpotter. It seems like, knowing that there was a problem with this walkie-talkie on the stick, he would have started that process a long time ago.
Chicago Police Department stopped using ShotSpotter yesterday after the city's contract with the parent company expired. No one in custody following a shooting that left 1 man dead and 6 others wounded on Chicago's southwest side Saturday night. And a 17-year-old boy is charged as an adult in the shooting and killing of his mother. Davion Pryor was ordered detained and will remain behind bars. Bears lost to the Colts 21-16. College football, number 19 Fighting Illini remain undefeated after an overtime win over Nebraska. The now 4-0 Illini take on number 9 Penn State Saturday. Baseball, Shota Imanaga tossed a gem. Cubs beat the Nationals 5-0, and the White Sox lost to the Padres. The news service, a balance of nature. Splash into savings. Save 50% on your first preferred order with promo code Chicago. Order online at balanceofnature.com and use that coupon code Chicago to save up to 50%. 8:04, time for the AM 560 Business Beat, a service of Signature Bank. Visit signaturebank.bank for all your commercial banking needs. And now the latest from the Fox Business Network.
I'm Stuart Varney, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Southwest Airlines could be seeing more changes and has suggested it could involve staff cuts. Reuters says investment firm Elliott, which owns 10% of Southwest common shares, is still looking to replace CEO Robert Jordan. And Bloomberg says a video message to employees warns that Southwest will be making tough decisions soon, including about its flight routes and schedules, and that Chief Operating Officer Andrew Waterston apologized to those affected by it without offering specifics. General Motors is updating its Fairfax assembly plant in Kansas to add production of the new Chevy Bolt electric vehicle. As a result of the change, GM will lay off nearly 1,700 workers at the plant. About 250 jobs will be eliminated. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosola, invested in you.
Mike Gallagher sees a weird twist to the immigration issue.
You know, the issue of assimilation. Residents of Springfield, Ohio, reporting that Haitians are eating their family pets, killing the ducks and geese in the ponds. It's another gift of the Biden-Harris mass immigration plan.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. Optima Tax Relief. Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Dennis Prager here. Join me on an unforgettable cruise to the Caribbean this November. We'll cruise to the vibrant islands of Half Moon Cay, Curacao, Bonaire, Turks and Caicos, and much more. We'll be joined by special guest Sean McDowell, and we'll both be sharing insights into current events in a way I hope energizes and challenges you. Secure your spot before space runs out by calling 855-565-5519 or book online at PragerCruise.com.
It's your life, your legacy. Shouldn't it be your choice? For nearly 2 centuries, Catholic Cemetery Chicago has been a haven for families, offering sacred spaces to honor these legacies. Take an active role by pre-planning your final arrangements. Alleviate your loved ones a future financial burden. Lock in today's prices and take advantage of no interest payments and no hidden fees. Visit CatholicCemeteriesChicago.org or call 708-236-5490 to schedule a free consultation today.
NYPD officer Jonathan Diller's tragic story made national headlines this year. Now, Jonathan was shot and killed by a career criminal during a traffic stop. Jonathan, who's just 31 years old, leaves behind his wife Stephanie and 1-year-old son Ryan. Now, nothing will ever replace the loss of a husband and a father, but the Tunnel to Towers Foundation was able to pay off the mortgage on the Diller family's home. Please commit to $11 a month. Go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org for the Tunnel to Towers Foundation.
Small business owners, we know finishing your to-do list can feel like rowing upstream, but it's a river, a whitewater river, and the only paddles you have are pool noodles. Then when a new to-do pops up, you're like, nope, I'm already rowing upstream with these pool noodle paddles. At Progressive, we don't want to make your day any harder. That's why we make it easy to get personalized discounts with a commercial auto insurance quote online, so your to-do list is smooth sailing. See if you can save on commercial auto insurance in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverages and discounts not available in all states and subject to policy terms and underwriting.
8:09 and a check of the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. This update is a service of the Chicago Board of Election Commissioners. Chicago needs election judges for the November 5th presidential election. Earn between $170 and $230 for your service. Pollworker.chicagoelections.gov to learn more. Stevenson outbound a mess right now. 30 minutes to the tri-state, all because of a disabled vehicle left center lane blocking outbound at Damon and an earlier accident outbound at Harlem Avenue. DeSable Lakeshore Drive, another messy spot southbound between Foster and Fullerton, all due to that ongoing road work. Tri-state accident, right lane of the exit ramp. It's the off-ramp to the eastbound Reagan I-88 causing delays. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with Steve Williams.
Today, rather cloudy skies. Our high today, 70. Clouds and a brief shower or two tonight, and a low 60. Clouds and showers tomorrow, the high 67. Sunshine, a few clouds, a warm day on Wednesday, the high 77. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
61 and partly cloudy at O'Hare. Your next news update, 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
"48 days till the election. Tick-tock goes the clock, and all eyes are on those swing states, in particular Pennsylvania. And Senator John Fetterman came forward and said that Pennsylvania voters, they have a special place in their heart for Trump.
I know some people that are like, I personally think he's a terrible person, or I'm appalled by some of these things, but I fundamentally think that, I'll still vote for him. And I think a lot of Republicans already agree with that. And I never agreed with our approach talking about that he's a convicted felon. I mean, I thought Democrats, we were the party that was all about second chances, and that we're not going to condemn somebody based on mistakes or things in that kind of situation. And I was convinced too that those kinds of trials and that kinds of thing, it's not going to have any impact on that. It's like, what's left? He's been impeached twice. Now it's been 2 attempted assassinations, one where a bullet actually hit him. And at this point, and I also want people to understand, and it's not science, but there's energy and there's kinds of anger on the ground in Pennsylvania, and people are very committed. And Trump is going to be strong, and that's we have to respect that. Can't even understand it, and it's not like a science that can explain it, but you have to just know that it's real.
Wow, and he was speaking at a forum over the weekend, The Atlantic.
Yeah.
Not a right-wing
right. He sounds great.
Publication, by the way, that held this forum. And he's getting better. He's getting stronger. His speech is returning.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Remember, he had a lot of long pauses. Man, I mean, he sounds.
When he ran for office, that was a disaster.
Yeah.
But
I'm glad to hear.
A million people had already early voted before that debate with Dr. Oz.
Right. But I'm glad to hear he's doing better, though.
Oh, yeah.
No matter what.
As the Christians in us.
Yeah.
Right. But, I mean, he makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, he does.
Will it work in the ballot box? For more on that, let's welcome to the program Oliver Bateman, historian and journalist based in Pittsburgh. He blogs, he vlogs, and he podcasts at his Substack.
Jeez.
Oliver Bateman does the work. And his latest column is The Pittsburgh Paradox Could Hand PA to Trump. Good morning, Mr. Bateman. How are you?
Hi, Amy. Hi, Dan. Glad to be back on this show. I was on here once before, so I am glad to be here again. And yeah, John Fetterman, coming back from the stroke, really laid it out there for folks, whether they want to hear it or not, as far as the Trump situation goes.
Well, is there a special place in Pennsylvania people's hearts because of the assassination attempt?
I mean, that was only about 30 minutes north of where I am in Pittsburgh, there in Butler County. I think that he represents, like Fetterman says, whether you like him or not, he represents an alternative. And I think particularly in a lot of the places where there've been, this is a traditional union labor state, although it has elected a lot of Republicans, there are people who realize that years of not very competitive elections have not been delivering the goods. And we're talking about Trump being a felon, they're talking about Trump, being some kind of existential evil or something like that. They're not going to be moved by those appeals come election day.
Well, let's talk about Pittsburgh in particular. It used to be transformed from a Rust Belt to a progressive tech stronghold. How has that changed the makeup of voters in that city?
Well, I mean, there's certainly fewer of them in the city proper. I mean, if you look at the population, it's now like smaller than Arlington, Texas, which is just a giant suburb sitting between Dallas and Fort Worth. The county itself is still large, but is also, experiencing slight declines. People have left. The people who have come in are often, these sort of carpetbagger tech workers or med workers who may not even, bring kids into the district. It's a pretty amazing thing. To give you one really great example, and it's happening here, this district, the Pittsburgh Public Schools district, is going to be closing 16 schools. I can't say that often enough. Pre-COVID, 40,000 students.
Wow.
COVID closures happen. Parents, whether they're liberal, progressive, whatever, say, I've had enough of this. My kids have to go and get that in-person education that we now know is so very important, which we knew all along was so very important. The district drops to like 19,000 kids. So these 16 closures, including one right up the block from my house, are a real wake-up call, or should be a real wake-up call to what is happening in the city.
Yeah, because I remember COVID, you guys were your governor came out swinging. I remember he would not allow golfing and alcohol sales. Remember that?
Yeah, and the school closures persisted.
Yeah.
He did. Yeah, I mean, so many of the COVID rules changed like day to day, right? Or week to week, like, 6 feet, 50 feet, 100 feet, whatever, 3 shots, 9 shots, whatever, all those different things that were hard to keep up with. But most importantly, for parents here, their little ones were either at home or they had to figure out how to make their in-person jobs work while kids were at home. And this persisted for like 2 years.
Wow. Scott Pressler, he basically moved to Pennsylvania to work on the voter registrations and making counties clean up their voter rolls. How important I don't know if you know who he is, but how important is that work? Because I've seen some counties that were really deep blue. He's actually registered more Republicans in those counties now. How important is that work there in Pennsylvania?
Well, I don't know Scott, but I do know the numbers, which are, show a significant uptick in the years following 2020. And now, really like almost getting to one-to-one registrations in the state between Republicans and Democrats. I mean, Republicans have made major inroads. And I mean, just south of here, to give a good example, Washington County, my home county, was long a Democrat stronghold in the 80s and 90s. By from the 2010s on, that becomes a Republican area. Like it turns over, and it goes from one party to the other party without any real competitive elections between them, because 50 years, 60 years of non-competitive elections, voter apathy, changing registrations, and people electing the alternative flipped it. And where Washington County went, like it deindustrialized before Pittsburgh, it lost population before Pittsburgh, is probably a lesson for where Pittsburgh could be headed. Wow. It looks like, right, if you look at the 2023 special election here in Allegheny County, where we had a Republican win, although he had been a Democrat before, win the DA spot. People were fed up with crime, fed up with some of the homelessness situation here. And you had a county executive who was a Republican who had strong financial backing, to be sure. He almost comes within 10,000 votes out of 360,000 cast of winning that election. I mean, that against a woman who had said, she grew up in an area where, while she liked the people around her, the white working class people around her were racist. That was a remark she had made years earlier in her career. She barely won that election as county executive. It's close. This city is much closer than people think. Some of the local elections are still not competitive, right? Because nobody else runs or they're blowouts. But those were two races where money was put in. The candidates were competitive. And that exactly what Fetterman is saying in that clip you played. That's a great clip. came to play here. I mean, I'm just looking at road signs, and that's, it's not scientific around my neighborhood. And you can see that the motivation is always on the right. In 2016, it was definitely on the right. And now, it definitely, if you're just counting signs in a north side of Pittsburgh neighborhood, you would, which is probably the most Republican part of the city, I would guess, you'll see a lot more Republican signs.
And they don't get torn down. Interesting. Or taken down or stolen. So, excuse my ignorance, in 2020, who won in Pennsylvania in 2020?
In 2020, that state went to Biden. I mean, that was a nail biter that went to Biden. I went to Biden on the night of. It looked like it was going to open as a strong win for Trump, but that was the year of the COVID vote, and those mail-in ballots came in really strongly Democrat. That's not going to happen this time around.
Yeah, my friend Representative Mike Piskarik was in the House, and when they tried to basically change the election, they actually introduced legislation. Him and Mastriano, whatever his name is.
Yeah, the guy that ran for governor.
Yeah, in the Senate. And he literally lost his election because he tried to defend the election integrity in Pennsylvania. So it's just insane what's happening across the country as people who are trying to protect election integrity.
But do people in Pennsylvania actually believe Kamala Harris, after saying for years she wants to ban fracking, that she's not going to ban fracking when she gets into office?
I think there's still, a lot of people here are still learning who she is. Right. I mean, David McCormick has released a really effective ad in that Senate race. I don't know if it's going to be enough to beat Bob Casey. I've written about Bob Casey Jr. I mean, he's a very popular senator, but the ad just ties him to Kamala and her changing views over the years. Like, it just plays a clip of all the things she said prior to getting the nomination. And it should, at least let voters know this is somebody who's not a law, if she's in favor of fracking now or other things, yes, you can change your mind, but certainly it seems like a lot of, there've been a lot of convenient policy shifts in the past couple years at a minimum.
Wow. All right. Well, anything you're working on that you want to promote, Oliver Bateman?
People should keep an eye. I have in the past year really started covering Pennsylvania heavily for Real Clear Politics. That's where this piece that you guys stumbled across came from. So I am going to have a lot more stuff in the lead up to the election, probably because it's such a critical state, definitely because it's such a critical state. So people wanting to read that can go check it out.
Okay. Oliver Bateman, historian, journalist based in Pittsburgh. I have to say it again, that you vlog. Yes. And you have podcasts at your Substack. Oliver Bateman does the work. Mr. Bateman, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll have you back soon.
Thank you.
Thanks. Great to be on. Take care.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
When was the last time your financial advisor looked at your tax return? The number one answer we get when we ask this question is never. I'm Matt Nadeau with Pearshell Financial Group of Apollon and host of Chicago's Real Money Pros. Blindly buying or selling an investment without knowing the tax consequences could cause you to trigger a lot of unnecessary taxes. It's always better to avoid a mistake than try to fix one. Make sure you're working with an advisor who understands tax planning and reviews your tax return regularly. Tune in to Chicago's Real Money Pros, where we talk about powerful tax reduction strategies and much more. Visit our website at chicagosrealmoneypros.com, where you can sign up for workshops and get your financial questions answered using the Ask the Experts form. Tune in to Chicago's Real Money Pros every weekend.
Investment advisory services are offered by Apollon Wealth Management, LLC.
I don't need to tell you how important a good night's sleep is, but like most people, sometimes you can't fall asleep or you wake up during the night. That's why I want to tell you about Z-Factor. Z-Factor is a 100% drug-free way to help you fall asleep faster, sleep longer, and sleep better. Z-Factor is from the makers of Relief Factor. Now, Z-Factor uses a formula of 4 all-natural ingredients to calm your mind and relax your body so you ease into sleep faster and sleep through the night. Just ask Maureen G. She said, quote, "This product broke a 15-year nightly cycle of lying in bed for hours before falling asleep," unquote. Or Bernard K., who said, "It cut down significantly the amount of times I wake up." Rediscover the joy of a great night's sleep, just like Barbara, who called it the best sleep I ever had. Try Z-Factor from Relief Factor and save 46% on your first order. Just go to ReliefFactor.com to order, ReliefFactor.com, or call 800-4-RELIEF. That's 800-4-RELIEF for Z-Factor.
Yeah, what were you?
I was looking at
spewing some stats,
Yeah.
which are fascinating.
I was looking at the 1976 presidential election. Carter lost Illinois, California, Oregon, Washington. Think about that. That is something else.
And that's in his race against Ford.
Yes, that's the and Carter won basically the South. Carter won all the South, pretty much.
Well, because he was a peanut farmer
Yeah.
from Georgia.
Yeah, think about that though.
That's crazy.
That's insane. And Vermont and New Hampshire, Maine, Virginia, Connecticut, New Jersey were all but won by Ford.
Oh my God! And now how times have changed.
Wow, that's insane.
So there was hope for Illinois at one point in time.
Yeah.
And now it's over.
It's still hope.
All right, use your own body's healing properties to revitalize your achy joints and get you real, lasting pain relief. I'm talking about advanced regenerative medicine. So if you're tired of arthritis pain in your knees, hip, back, shoulder, or if you have an injury, there's an option. Everybody's talking about regenerative medicine. You can enhance your joints, improve mobility, get back to doing the stuff you love without pain, without drugs or surgery or downtime. The local medical professionals at QC Kinetics are experts in these amazing treatments. I visited one of their centers and I could not believe how happy the clients were that I spoke with on the way out. And they're led by National Medical Director, Dr. Mitchell Shinecup, right here from the Chicago area. So QC Kinetics, folks, is the nation's leader in this exciting breakthrough using cellular therapies. They've got tens of thousands of satisfied patients, and the consultation is totally free. Emmett Smith has used QC Kinetics. Elite athletes have been doing this for years, and now it's available to you. So call now to get lasting joint pain relief with help from QC Kinetics. Call for that free consultation today. New locations in Crystal Lake and Gurnee. Saturday appointments available. The number to call, write it down, 312-809-5955. That's 312-809-5955. 312-809-5955.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Paul Jenkins, owner of Bancroft Architects and Engineers, a service-disabled veteran-owned small business providing design solutions for clients, including the VA. When looking for a trusted banking partner, Bancroft was lucky to find that partner in Signature Bank in 2015. With Signature, personal service goes beyond a login and a PIN number. My staff and I have the comfort of knowing that we're dealing with real people who know our business and care about us as individuals. Signature helped finance our new state-of-the-art facility, and Bancroft looks forward to further expanding business opportunities for disabled veterans and historically disadvantaged communities.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
I have to tell you, I had a really good time on your boat cruise.
Yes.
But I got bit up by mosquitoes.
Really?
And I even put bug spray on. Yeah, I have one on the bottom of my foot.
Oh, God,
how the heck did that happen? Did you get bit anywhere?
No, not at all. The bees were after me, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they tried to come after me.
I got stung by a bee yesterday on my finger. You see it's still swollen?
Really?
I can't
on
find
the
the
on
stinger.
The boat cruise?
No, this was pumping gas in Highland, Indiana. I grabbed the thing, and then there was a bee in there and it stung me. Something's bit me. It was a spider or something, but it's still. Anywho,
I drank a pop and it was in the pop and it stung me and flew away before.
Oh, on your lip?
Stuff, yeah, that stuff.
Oh,
hurt.
thank God
hurt.
you didn't swallow it.
That hurt.
And you're lucky because some people are allergic to bees, and some people don't know they're allergic to bees. So I always carry an EpiPen because I'm that type of person.
Yeah.
Don't want to see anybody get injured. All right, this fall. Don't forget about your Balance of Nature supplements. And you don't take Balance of Nature because I don't give it to you anymore.
No,
I
you
give
don't.
it to Justin.
Yeah,
Sorry.
That's okay.
I
get it.
Hey, Justin, are you still taking Balance of Nature?
Yes, I am.
And?
I love it. I tell you, every day it gives me that extra bump in the afternoon.
Yep. But did you take it with you on vacation?
I didn't on vacation. I was worried about my suspicious bag of pills.
I know. That is true. But if I'm off it for a week or so, I can notice a difference, I swear. So this fall, when you're, eating turkey, pumpkin pie, ice cream, because it's going to be here sooner than you know it, your body needs that fruits and vegetables to stay healthy, happy, and energized. So you take the fruits. What do you take, John?
Fiber and spice.
Fiber and spice. That's what it's called. And how do you do it?
Well, I mean, I haven't done it in a while, but
well, see now.
No, listen, but
well, we're promoting a
I know, but
here,
hear me,
that's
hear
not
me,
what you're
hear me.
supposed
What
to
I'm
say.
saying. I don't want to lie neither. But when I do take it, I use lemon juice and I'll squeeze freshly squeezed juices, lemons, oranges, and things of that nature, and mix it up in that.
Okay,
it's pretty good. I mean,
you should
see
do
the
it,
difference.
and you've kept your weight off.
Yeah. I'm below 250 and I'm maintaining below 250. I got about 15, 20 more pounds, and then back in the gym to try to tighten it up. Hopefully, tone.
That's what you call that.
Tone.
All right. So you, as all of you know, your body needs fruits and vegetables to stay happy, healthy, and energized. That's why I've been supplementing with Balance of Nature for nearly a decade. It's so easy to do it. Just 6 capsules a day. You can crack them open into warm water or just take them whole. And thousands of AM 560 listeners love their Balance of Nature, and you will too. Order your fruits and veggie supplements today. Call 800-246-8751 and use coupon code Chicago to save 35% off your first set and free shipping when you sign up as a new preferred customer. The number again is 800-246-8751. Call now or order online at balanceofnature.com and use code Chicago, coupon code Chicago, to save that 35%.
From breaking news and weather across the country to insight from the brightest minds in conservative opinion, it's Salem News Channel, home to the biggest shows on TV, like Hugh Hewitt weekdays at 6 a.m. Eastern, followed by Mike Gallagher at 9. Join SNC, where facts are sacred, critical thinking is celebrated, and the pursuit of truth is unwavering. Watch Salem News Channel free, now on Zumo Play. Learn more at snc.tv/Zumo.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up next, we can't afford 4 more years. Oh, wait, that's what Harris's campaign, Tim Walz, said. We'll begin there with our good friend, Ed Morrissey. But first, let's step into that newsroom once again. Here's Mike Scott.
8:32, 61 degrees. Israel and Hezbollah terror groups in Lebanon continue to exchange airstrikes against one another, raising concerns about a wider regional conflict.
The Israeli military announcing it's conducting in Lebanon against the terrorist group Hezbollah and its post. The IDF saying it learned Hezbollah was planning to fire on Israel. The tit-for-tat across Lebanon's border is raising fears of an all-out war. Early Sunday, Hezbollah reportedly fired more than 100 rockets into northern Israel. Israel has since responded. Meantime, the U.S. is urging Americans staying in Lebanon to leave.
Israel warning residents in South Lebanon to leave their homes to avoid getting caught in ongoing airstrikes. Both major party nominees for president picking up new endorsements, including an unlikely one for former President Donald Trump.
Harris has a new endorsement from the National Treasury Employees Union. The organization represents employees from different federal departments and agencies, including the IRS. Meantime, former President Trump is heading to Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Michigan this week. He's also got a new endorsement from Amir Ghalib, the mayor of Hamtramck, Michigan. Ghalib is a Democrat and represents one of the biggest Muslim communities in Wayne County. His endorsement comes days after Trump met with him as Republicans try to court Arab American voters disillusioned by the Biden administration's leadership on the Israel-Hamas war.
Authorities in Birmingham, Alabama believe Saturday night's shooting there was a paid, targeted hit. Police Chief Scott Thurman.
Very scary. Very. Like, when I walked up when it was, like, just ended because everybody was screaming. There was people crying.
Thurman says he believes the targeted individual was among the 4 killed. That person, Dejon Singleton, witnessed the aftermath. This morning, the chief says investigators are still trying to determine how many shooters were involved. 18 were injured. Former Chicago Alderman Ed Burke reporting to federal prison today by 2 p.m. Burke beginning a 2-year sentence at a minimum security facility, likely in Terre Haute, Indiana. No one in custody following a shooting that left 1 man dead and 6 others wounded on Chicago's southwest side. A 17-year-old boy is charged as an adult in the shooting and killing of his mother in Chicago. Davion Pryor was ordered detained and will remain behind bars. Bears lost to the Colts 21-16. Baseball yesterday, Shota Imanaga a gem, and the Cubs win over the Nationals 5-0, while the Sox lost to the Padres. The news, a service of Quick Delivery Service. Visit quickdelivery.com when you need same-day delivery of your routes, ground delivery when you need it from safe, licensed professionals. Go to quickdelivery.com now to schedule your delivery. And a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dr. Sebastian Gorka can see Harris stretching the truth again.
We have 5 million assault weapons on the streets of America. We've got to deal with this.
How mandatory is your gun buyback program?
It's mandatory.
5 million assault weapons on the streets of America. It's weird. I have lots of quote-unquote assault weapons. None of mine are walking around the streets of America.
America First with Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Afternoons at 3, right before Sean Thompson at 4 on AM 560. The Answer.
This is Carol Platt, Liebau for townhall.com. Attorney General Merrick Garland has just made a speech denouncing alleged efforts to turn his handling of the Justice Department into a political weapon. Garland doesn't have a leg to stand on. I guess we're safe to presume he wasn't referencing Kamala Harris's attacks on Robert Hur, when Hur didn't prosecute Joe Biden's mishandling of classified documents because of the president's mental decline. In truth, his Justice Department is the first to prosecute the president's political opponents. His DOJ brought a classified documents case against Donald Trump while letting Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden off the hook. He's refused to prosecute violent pro-Hamas and BLM rioters, but threw the book at peaceful abortion clinic and J6 protesters. And his FBI has gone after parents who simply protested at school board meetings. Garland's DOJ is the most political in history, and everybody knows it.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-839-8484. 800-839-8484. 800-839-8484.
Millwright work is often technical and requires a high degree of precision. The pros at Vans Industrial are skilled mechanics that can perform any type of millwright work, including installation and maintenance of your factory equipment and machinery. For your machine repair needs, look no further than Vans Industrial.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Vans Industrial is an industrial millwright contractor that can install new mechanical systems or repair existing systems. Our services include repair of bearings, shafts, shiv alignments, as well as installation of conveyors and bucket elevators. Our team of trained mechanics will respond to your emergency calls 24/7, keeping your systems operational. We're here to help you.
Call 833-VANS-IND for a free inspection of your facility. That's 833-VANS-IND. Interested in what else they do? Visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANS Industrial.com. Quality craftsmanship since 1964.
8:38. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. We'll start on the Edens Expressway, 31 in from Lake Cook Road into the junction. Watch out outbound. An accident reported between Toohey and Dempster. Kennedy outbound jammed up between the Circle and Lake. Ike on the inbound side is an hour 16 in from 390 to the old post office. Stevenson outbound, a disabled vehicle left center lane. That's outbound at Damon. Bishop Ford inbound. You've got an accident with a right lane block inbound at 159. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Now your official Chicagoland weather forecast. In the AM 560 Weather Center, we see clouds and a high near 70. Cloudy and a brief shower or two, low 60. Cloudy with a couple of showers, 67 tomorrow. Right now, partly cloudy skies, officially 61 at O'Hare. Your next news update is at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
You know what this song is? Because you can't, stop. Who sings the song, Justin?
Beastie Boys.
Oh, Beastie Boys. I think we already had this conversation last week. When you think, retain information. Good morning, Amy Jacobson here. John Anthony and
Well, hello
Dan
there.
Croft. This morning has flown by.
It really has.
As
My
usual.
goodness. I'm
But
alive and I'm awake now.
You are.
I'm alive.
You took your sunglasses off.
Yeah, of course.
I hate when you come in with sunglasses.
Why?
Because that means that you're not fully.
No, well, you put sunglasses on the boat yesterday to take a picture with me, and I sang the song. I wear my sunglasses at night.
Well, because I didn't put makeup on, so I'm like, I'll just throw on these fancy shades. Weren't they fancy shades?
Yeah, they were fancy.
It's the fanciest thing I own.
Really?
I got them as a birthday gift.
Ooh.
From my divorce attorney.
What were they, Gucci or?
No, they are Gucci.
Oh, they are.
From Michigan Avenue.
Nice. Look at you.
That's why I never want to lose. I mean, literally, I watch those things like a hawk.
Yeah.
Because no one better touch my shades. Yeah. All right, but we're not here to talk
No.
about shades. We're talking
Well,
about
we are
Trump.
talking
We have an
about shades.
election in 48 days from now, and former President Trump was on Full Measure with Cheryl Atkinson.
Yeah.
And she has, 2 assassination attempts. How are you dealing with this? Are you afraid?
I think I'm going to feel safe.
Are you ever scared?
I can't be scared because if you're scared, you can't do your job. So I just can't be.
Isn't that so
Wow,
true?
That's tough.
Because if you're scared, you can't do your job. If you play scared as an athlete, guess what? You're going to get beat.
That's right.
If you do your job scared, you're going to get beat.
Yes.
Don't
I
let the
agree.
turkeys get you down.
That's right.
With more on this and Kamala Harris is locking and loading. Let's welcome back to the program Ed Morrissey, senior editor for hotair.com. Good morning, Ed. How are you?
Good morning, Amy. Good morning, John. I'm doing well, thank you.
All right, so Kamala's packing heat. She was on with her bestie, Oprah, and said this because Oprah was floored. Like, somebody who owns a gun is in my presence? Oh, my God.
I'm a gun owner. Tim Walz is a gun.
I did not know that.
If
And I thought
somebody
that was
breaks in my
powerful.
house, they're getting shot.
Yes, I hear that. I hear that.
Probably should not have said that.
But
my staff will deal with that later.
What was funny about that?
I'm not really sure. Look, I mean, I think that she's trying to sell herself as, every man or every woman, if you will, but that's not how gun owners usually talk.
No, not at all.
No, but do you think she's making up? Because no one even asked her, well, what do you own? When did you buy it? What are you carrying? A 38 Special, a 9mm? And why did you buy it? And what year?
Yeah, I mean, those are the questions. If you're a gun owner, those are the first questions you ask. Really, what do you have?
Right.
I've got this, and because you like to talk about those things. It's a point of pride.
Or her, why? Why did she get a gun? Because I know why I got a gun. Because I had a stalker in Tucson, and that's when I knew because he came early in the morning. I was working early in the morning, and I just knew that if I called Tucson police, and they were great, but they weren't going to get there fast enough to protect protect me. So I had to protect myself.
Exactly. Well, I had an FBI agent tell me the same thing. I had a death threat situation several years ago, and I asked the FBI got in contact with me about it, and those guys were good guys. And I said, "What should I do?" And he said, "Well, do you carry a pistol?" It's like, no, not at the moment. He goes, "Well, I can't tell you. I shouldn't even suggest it to you, but I would at least look into that possibility." And that's when I
now, Ed Morrissey, who in the world would want to kill you?
Well,
and
I don't want to talk too much about who it was. But it had to do with some of the stuff. It wasn't even something I'd written, but something that had appeared on our website regarding radical jihad. And it was a little homegrown convert who I was one of 15 people on his list. So.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm
that was
telling
several
you.
years ago. Though. It was several years ago, and I've never had any issues with it since. But I still, I still own firearms, and it was one of those situations where I, fully supported the Second Amendment, people's right to carry and all that, but I just never bothered to do it myself until that came up. And so, when you talk with people who are saying, "Oh yeah, I have a weapon at home," really, what do you have? Because I've got this.
That's right.
What do hey, maybe we should go to the range together and check out each other's weapons to see, what we like and all that type of thing. And so it would have been the first question that would have come to mind. Really, what have you got? The second question would have been, and what is your Secret Service carrying? Because
and Oprah guards.
Yeah, and because that's actually who's going to take care of your home security. You are not like everybody else. I'm sorry, but not all of us have Secret Service providing facility protection for us.
But what's the play here? I mean, American gun culture has long been dominated by conservative white men. And so what is this, I'm just like everybody else?
Well, yeah, it's
attitude?
interesting that you say that, Amy, because the Wall Street Journal reported, I think it was on Friday, that the fastest growing demographic in gun purchasing is actually Democrats and liberals.
Yeah.
And I think really what that was a way to signal to those voters to say, hey, look, I'm not going to take away your guns, even though I've done nothing but talk about mandatory buybacks for the last 5 years. I'm not going to take away your guns because I think it's actually now more of an issue with their base than it is with centrists and Republicans.
Yeah, especially in Pennsylvania, places where guns.
Well, in Minnesota too.
In Minnesota,
I don't live in Minnesota any longer, but Minnesota has a very strong and responsible gun culture there.
Right,
and so Tim Walz is very well aware of that.
Well, see, Ed, I don't know what you're talking about. Here in Illinois, I had a boating accident and lost all my guns, so we can't talk about certain guns here in the state of Illinois.
What do you?
Yeah, because of the bill that Pritzker signed. Basically,
that's right.
There's certain even shotguns you cannot have, and it's just so unfortunate. But hey, Ed, let's look forward. We got 48 days left to the election.
Yes, sir.
Put on your prognostication hat. How does a Trump become the 47th president of the United States? What's his path to victory in your estimation?
Well, I think it's the same path for both candidates. You got to win Pennsylvania. If you win Pennsylvania, you're probably going to come close in Michigan and Wisconsin and probably win those two states or one of those two states as well. Harris can't win without Pennsylvania. Trump can, but it's really narrow. The path gets really narrow. So I think you're going to see a lot of focus on Pennsylvania, and I think that's also part of the reason why all of a sudden Harris is talking about shooting people who come into her house.
I mean, my God, because in
that's what they do in
Minnesota, but in
Pennsylvania.
Minnesota, that's illegal. You have to try and de-escalate the situation first before
Duty
shooting
to
at them.
retreat.
What's it called?
Duty to retreat.
Duty to retreat. Yeah.
Not in Minnesota. Minnesota, you have they have the castle doctrine in Minnesota.
Oh, they
have
do?
it in California too. Yeah, they have it in California too, where you don't have a duty to retreat inside your own home.
Oh, okay.
But I wouldn't want to test that too
I
much
wouldn't either.
because
No.
of the, especially where I lived, the DAs. Well, where I lived, actually, the DA was pretty good. But I mean, if you're in the metro area, you're more likely not to draw a progressive DA who'd be more inclined to prosecute you than to recognize the fact that you were defending yourself.
Hey, I think about Kamala Harris. Her first decision in her campaign was to pick her VP running mate.
Right.
Thank God she wasn't bright. Thank God she didn't pick Governor Shapiro. Because I don't like his policies, but I like him.
He's a likable guy, and he's a smart
And he's
guy.
smart.
He's a smart guy. Yeah, he would have made a very. I think that was the problem, is that he's smart. He's a lot smarter than she is, and I think it would have started to come through. But still, I mean, the point here is to actually win, and so picking the progressive governor of a state that really should already be in your column is an older guy, a guy who comes across looking like, Grandpa Fudd.
Oh,
I mean,
it's
it's a
weird.
strange choice, right? I mean, it's just, and he was my governor for 2.5 years, right? I moved out in mid 2021. So I got an up close look at this guy, with the snitch line and the authoritarian COVID policies. This guy is a disaster, and
he let Minneapolis burn.
And I was just about to say that, especially his delay in fully activating the National Guard. He didn't call them in until day 3. He didn't let them do their jobs until day 5.
Right.
By which point in time, most of the city had already burned. The stuff that had burned, most of it had already burned by that point, and it was a complete disaster.
Hey Ed, you saw that video of cops running down the street shooting tear gas at people that were on their front porch? Was that an actual?
No, that
did
was
that
about
actually
George
happen?
Floyd, not COVID.
Okay,
Yeah,
no,
was-
but
But
I
it did
get it.
happen.
But why? You can't tell me. I'm on my porch.
Yeah, there was a curfew because of the riot, and this neighborhood was about 2 blocks away from where the riot was. The majority of the riot was taking place,
Yeah.
and they were looking for people that were escaping from the National Guard. And this is the very first night that the National Guard was activated for that purpose.
Yeah.
And so they were looking at all these people that were on their own property and telling them to go back inside the house. And I think that was the National Guard not being very well led, because they didn't have any. It was paintballs. They were shooting paintballs.
Yeah, that's what it was.
But it looked like a communist country.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes, it's a bad look. It was a very bad look, and that's also on Waltz too. I mean, he was the governor. He was the guy who had activated the National Guard. Apparently, he didn't give them very good instructions, and that was definitely abusive. And it got attention at the time, not from conservatives, but from progressives who were super angry about that video and wanted a lot of answers as to why they were being shot at for just simply being on their porch. And so, yeah, but it wasn't COVID. It was the riot.
And he acts so good. He acts like at these rallies, he's running around like a crazy man with like jazz hands and running from side to side and like he's hopped up on something. And he's so out of touch. And then he said this over the weekend at a campaign event. Just listen.
Look, Kamala Harris made it clear. These guys want to instill fear. They want to tell you that just get over it. It's a fact of life. This is the way it is. She simply has said it doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to be this way. We can't afford 4 more years of this, and I've been saying it.
He's been pillarized then, rightfully so, by the right, since he made that declarative statement at the rally in Pennsylvania.
I don't know. I fully agree with them. We can't afford 4 more years of this. It's just that he's the 4 more years that we can't afford because he's running with Kamala Harris, who's been in office for 3.5 years, almost 4 years now. It's so dumb. I wrote about it this morning just because it was so easy to write about. It was so fun to write about. And I'll go even beyond the wordplay here. He's talking about, they're selling fear. They're selling fear. These guys won't even talk about their record. They won't even talk about the policies that they're going to put in place. Their entire campaign is based on be afraid of the orange man. Mm-hmm. Be afraid of the orange man. It doesn't matter who we are. It doesn't matter what we do. It doesn't matter anything that we've done in the past. Be afraid of the orange man. You have to vote for us because you can't vote for the orange man. That's their entire campaign. Their entire campaign is fear itself. They're the anti-FDRs. All they have to run on is fear itself. That's who they are.
All right,
so
now,
that's ludicrous. That statement of his is ludicrous.
Kamala Harris over the weekend has confirmed they want to have a second debate on CNN. Here she is.
Join me on the debate stage. Let's have another debate. There's more to talk about, and the voters of America deserve to hear the conversations that I think we should be having on substance, on issues, on policies. What's your plan? What's my plan?
The problem with another debate is that it's just too late. Voting has already started.
So what do you think? Should President Trump agree to take a second debate with Kamala Harris?
I don't know. I mean, I think that really having 2 or 3 debates is a good idea. The problem is that he offered her another debate, and she turned him down. That debate was scheduled for September 4th. He ended up doing a Fox News forum, I think, instead of town hall forum, rather than doing the debate. She wouldn't take that debate, and he's already done one on CNN. He did one on CNN with Joe Biden. So why would he go back to CNN again? I think that if they want to do another debate, it's probably a good idea, but this time it should be under his conditions on Fox, no fact checking, silent mics if necessary, if he likes that. And I think it actually plays well for him to have the mics muted when it's not their turn. And no audience, let them just be on stage and talk. And I don't think either one of them really have a lot to fear from a debate like that.
Right, I agree.
But will she do it? No, because I think what she's hoping to get is friendly moderators like she got from ABC News. I mean, that was that was the worst moderated debate I think I've ever seen.
Well, it was an attack job. I mean, that's what that was.
It was 3-on-1. It was 3-on-1. You had David Muir and Lindsey Davis debating Trump, maybe even more than Kamala Harris was debating Trump. It was a terribly moderated debate. And so, look, I mean, I think if you're going to get an honest debate, it might be worthwhile to do it. And Trump might do it, and what he might say is, well, if she really wants one, I'll set one up on Fox and see whether or not she runs away from that.
Right.
Gosh, it would be a town hall. It would be perfect on Fox.
But I've said when you go back, because I watched the debate and I thought Trump just lost. But then I went back and just listened to it, and I heard no substance. I heard no policy from her. But Trump was actually laying out policy and had substance in that debate. Am I wrong in how I looked at that?
No, but the part was then he said Joe Biden doesn't like you. Wait,
well, he doesn't.
I know, but just and talked about her father, and I don't know. He didn't need to do that.
Yeah. He got distracted, and I think he was looking for lines of attack that really don't make any sense because the issues are so good for him. I mean, the fundamentals in this election are really good. I was looking at the right direction, wrong direction tracker over at RCP this morning, which was part of my thing with Waltz. I mean, this is historic dissatisfaction in the electorate. And it has been throughout the Biden-Harris administration. Yeah. That's what you need to run on. That's what you need to hammer. People clearly hate the status quo, so why would they vote for the status quo all over again? If you look at this tracker, they very much preferred the 4 years that Donald Trump was in office prior to March of 2020 when the pandemic broke out. Right. So why not just run on that? You don't need to run on her identity or who her father was or defining who's a Marxist. Let the pundits do that. Let your campaign do that. As a candidate, you should really just be focusing on the issues and policy, especially since your candidate doesn't have anything to offer there.
Why aren't people making more of this ABC News whistleblower who swore under penalty of perjury that Kamala Harris's campaign dictated the terms? They wanted the questions ahead of time. Allegedly, they got them. And that they would not fact-check her, but only fact-checked Trump.
I got to tell you, I'm kind of skeptical about that thing, too. I really am. I'm not sure where it came from. And if I had something like that, I would have gone to Fox News or the Wall Street Journal with it. I wouldn't have gone to a Twitter account with a few thousand people on it. To me, that whole thing smells like it was reverse engineered from watching the debate. And until somebody wants to come forward and put their name on it, or until they have some sort of documentary proof to a established, credible news organization that they are who they say they are, I'm not sure I'm going to put a lot of time or effort into that. Besides which,
do we still have those?
Yeah, well, that's a good point.
We still have those credible news sources?
Come to hotair.com. Send me your sworn affidavits, people. No, I'm only slightly kidding about that. But look, I mean, I think that we saw what we saw, and I don't think we needed a sworn affidavit to say, look, they were clearly in the tank for Kamala and clearly made the decision that they were only going to fact check Donald Trump, and because we saw it happen in front of our very eyes.
Election interference. All right, Ed Morrissey, we're going to have to leave it there for today. Senior editor for hotair.com. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And he did join us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Dan Proft here for Northridge Prep. Northridge Prep is a great place to be a boy. What does that mean exactly? In short, it's thanks to a foundation of an all-boys environment that builds your son up into a man of intellect and character who loves God. The teachers and faculty members become mentors to students. And when you combine that with an atmosphere that's fun, competitive, and challenging, it creates an exceptional experience for your son. And the result is that the boys just love Northridge. They've been educating boys for nearly 50 years. And one of the things that stands out to me is their commitment to partnering with parents. Now, you hear this a lot with schools, but at Northridge, the parents can't stop talking about it. They built a community that really works together. Raising kids is difficult these days, and at Northridge, you can be confident your son is on the right path. They're having an open house on Sunday, October 20th for boys in grades 6 through 12. Register today at northridgeprep.org. Again, that's Sunday, October 20th. Register at northridgeprep.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, thanks so much for joining us. And by the way, according to the Minnesota Supreme Court, a person who is claiming to act in self-defense has a duty to retreat before using or even displaying a deadly weapon when confronted with a threat. Just so you know.
Yeah.
And we talked about
Illinois
that before.
too.
Yes, Illinois is the same way. Yep. Thanks to Justin Kosick, a new uncle. Congratulations.
Hey.
And to Quinn McCarthy, who's always a great guy. We'll be back here bright and early tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. And thanks to you, John Anthony.
Thank you. I'm saying we'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, we will be at 5 a.m. Now into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
And Burke reporting to federal prison. 1 killed and 6 wounded in a Southwest Side shooting. Bears fall to the Colts. Cubs blank the Nationals. WIND Chicago News Time, 9.
It will likely prevent him from being released from jail. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. New evidence released by the Justice Department about the suspect in the second Trump assassination attempt. Right before Ryan Ruth's bond hearing this morning, he's so far only charged with 2 gun crimes.
They found 2 additional license plates, 6 cell phones, and documents, including a handwritten list of dates in August through October of this year, 2024, and venues of where the former president would be.
We've also learned a friend of Ruth's told the FBI he dropped off a box before the attempt that included a letter in case he did not succeed.
Addressed to the world, said, quote, "This was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump, but I failed you. I tried my best and gave it all the gumption I could muster," end quote. He also offered thousands of dollars